All right, guys. Zohan managed to fix the stream, so we're back. Anyways, what's poppin', Tub Nation? Welcome back to Tub Takes. This is a VGC video podcast where we go over what's been making waves in the VGC scene. Today, I am joined by my co-host Adi. The timing is so good.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back. We got your everyone's favorite Swede, along with the two greatest players in Sweden's history. It's an exciting episode.
Absolutely. We also have Mattie Morgan joining us today, coming off of a top 8 finish in Stockholm. How you doing?
I'm doing good. Thanks for having me.
Glad to have you. And we also have your Stockholm regional champion again, MichaelDerBeste. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me as well. And I'm just a little sad that my tech stuff doesn't seem to work properly, but it is what it is.
He's actually just like completely alone in a black room right now. He has no power besides the screen and his laptop or whatever. Yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to explain why he's just in a void here, but just don't ask any questions. He's here. You can see him, and that's honestly I couldn't ask for any more. Okay, so yeah, this is we'll be talking about their runs and stuff like that and such, so that if you have any questions, definitely ask those as we go along the way. We'll be answering any questions that you guys have in chat. And if you're here now, but you're not going to be around for the rest of it, or if you prefer to watch VODs or whatever, this will be up on Adi's YouTube tomorrow. !YT in the chat. And with that, let's start off by getting into the first little bit of like housekeeping announcements, stuff like that, and then we'll talk about these tournaments that took place over the weekend. So Portland Regionals is going to be happening. It is going to be happening, I guess, is that barely came to be. They barely announced that one, but it's happening. And so registration is happening tomorrow if you're watching this on Twitch, today if you're watching this on YouTube. And so it's happening 7 p.m. Pacific time, local time in Portland. So anyways, if you're going to that one and you don't want to miss it, I'm going to this one. Am I seeing either of you guys there?
I doubt it, unless someone wants to sponsor me to go, then I'll go, but
right?
no, probably not.
You just got a fat $1,000, right? You can book a trip to Portland.
I'm broke.
I'm honestly, I thought about going to Milwaukee, but probably registration is already closed. We will see.
Yeah, you have to double check on that one, but oh, it is. Yes, I remember that they were going to talk about putting up more spots, and then that's a bit annoying. Milwaukee's going to be exciting, though. That one is happening before this one and is the first in format. This one's going to be following it up shortly afterwards, though, so it's still going to be pretty fresh in the Reg I format. So,
yep,
Milwaukee is open right now. Oh, okay. Well, then, Michael, you have no excuse. Literally none.
Okay. Yeah, after the stream.
After the stream, sounds good. Sounds good.
By the way, Snoopy, thank you for the sub. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you so much. Welcome to Tub Nation. So yeah, anyways, I'm really hoping to register for this one because obviously I'm the defending champion. It's been over a year since it happened, so it's kind of funny. How was Stockholm around the same time of year, Michael?
Stockholm was in May.
It was May last year, so it was actually less than a year apart. Year or two. And then mine are on the reverse end, a little bit over a year. But okay. Otherwise, that's really it. I don't expect these two European guests to have much to say about Portland, so we'll keep it moving. And talk about the GC. So we're gonna start off by talking about GC3. It happened over this past weekend. This is the third of the 4 global challenges that Japan and I think just Japan and Korea, right, are using to qualify for the World Championships, and everybody else is fighting for a lot of championship points. And wouldn't you know it, greedy Suika is just taking all the championship points from everybody else and wins it again by not even like a chill margin either. Like 1841 is insane. With the team just being it's just Joe's team that he's been using. I've heard on the streets that there was some changes made to it, maybe to make it like, something that can catch you off guard because you think it's a known team. You think you can just Google what the sets are. Look up what the latest version Joe used in a tournament was. But I think like the Iron Hands had Ice Punch and some other things to like keep you on your toes, which I definitely think is a fun and viable way to play the GC, is to just take something known, make changes to it, almost just for the sake of it, because you can catch people off guard that way.
To be fair, that team doesn't scream like it can have a ton of surprises. I think like Miraidon, Corona, Grimmsnarl. I would be surprised if this was I think I would be surprised if this was not a screens Grimmsnarl, but maybe like Lagging Tail or Fake Out in general. But
Right.
we don't know.
Let me tell you, I think every single Grimmsnarl in the GC has Fake Out. You just have to assume they do, because they always click.
True. It's true. It's true.
It's true.
And they are Covered Cloak as well.
And they're Covert Cloak. I mean, I ran exactly Fake Out Covert Cloak the previous GC, not this one. But yes, I was using the Grimmsnarl then, and that's why I'm no longer using it, is I feel like everyone knows about that now. Maybe they knew about it then, but it worked quite a bit then, at least. I didn't do that hot. Anyways, let's keep moving, though, and talk about the second team.
I want to say, this is Suika's third time winning a GC this year. Is that right?
Yes.
I think this year it's twice, right?
Is it just twice?
I feel like it's twice with like a second or something.
Yeah, 1 second place. So
and like this first, by the way, replaced like a fifth. Is like
Crazy.
This is it's just not, we're like everyone else is trying to like make marginal improvements. Like I have 2 top 128s. My marginal improvement on that would be getting 15 CP to moving up to top 64. And Suika's like out here grinding for 10 points, 20 points on top of like just by winning the whole thing. Like that is, yeah, he posted plus 20 CP. Like just leave us all alone, dude. That's insane.
I think he's pretty close to locked, given that he's in Australia, right? So
yeah.
I mean, honestly, if you win 3 GCs, you have probably earned your Worlds invite in Australia without going to any more events, which is super impressive.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, I don't believe Suika has earned any types of auto invite. You know what? I forgot to include it. Adi, can you Google for me in the background? But is Brisbane this weekend, or is it the following?
It is this weekend. It is this weekend. Yeah.
I forgot to include that in the subject. So if you can grab me a link to pull up, we can preview that one at some point. But yes, that is this weekend. So that is actually going to be the first, or like, one of the more one of the only opportunities that Australians have in their home country to earn an auto invite. Because I was thinking, Suika doesn't actually have an auto invite, still has to place, like, there's no doubt in anyone's mind that Suika is going to get a Worlds invite in the Australian circuit, but no actual auto invite yet. So, all right.
There's been only one tournament in Australia in this season so far, right?
I'm trying to remember if there was one before. Did they not have Perth?
They had Perth regionals, and they have one here, and I think they have Sydney later on this year, right?
Okay, so 3 auto invites overall, and maybe in NAIC as well. But
right.
We gotta see.
Yeah, I would not be surprised if Suika just got the auto invite as well. But we'll have to see.
Every Australian is hoping for that.
Exactly. Funnily enough, I played against an Australian at Vancouver. That was pretty amusing to me. I also played against 3 Hawaiians. It was a wild ride.
Wow.
Crazy.
Anyways. So yeah, Suika obviously crushing it. Like, I know that we're talking about how, like, in the best of 3 scene, Wolf is just like going on a crazy tear at every tournament he shows up to, but like for GC's best of 1, like there's a couple of like names that everybody thinks of, like UB Slow, and UB Slow coming right up here in 4th. Elizabeth, who's also really strong, and then like Suika just continuing to show such crazy dominance. They are on another level when it comes to these tournaments, and I don't know, it's always just like cool to see this like level of consistency in what is something a lot of people deem to be incredibly inconsistent. Like if you want to just like a lot of people come away from the global challenges with a bunch of excuses. Like, I played the craziest matchups. I got so unlucky. I've definitely been that person. But then, can you really feel justified in those excuses when somebody has won basically 3 GCs? Not super. There's always something you could be doing better,
For sure.
100%.
Yes, we do know what Elizabeth said last GC. That's I know about that. We don't have to go into that again. Let's go ahead and talk
Oh
about
my
the team that
God.
Elizabeth used in this tournament. They didn't end up actually placing too highly, but this person did. I don't know if I guess Tina Rose is their main account. They actually posted a whole article on it. I don't know how much information we'll be able to get into on it here, but this one I thought was really, really cool. They ended up playing against Wolf on his stream. I think the VODs are taken down for that one right now, so you can't go watch it. But Elizabeth played against Wolf with this team, and yeah, it's Choice Band Ting Lu, Loaded Dice, Dragonite, and yeah, Azation. I mean, is technically not the most common restricted in the format. A lot of things that definitely this is not a build we've seen in the format to this point in either best of 1 or best of 3. So it's kind of cool, definitely doing something different. And yeah, I don't know, Adi, you might know a bit more about it than I do.
Yeah, I think if you scroll down, they link to the original version of the team where that the Twitter post, where someone had built this team with a Zamazenta, and they looked at the team and said, or they took inspiration from this concept, and they said, actually, this should be a Zacian team. And yeah, it's really interesting. I think that and you can see some of the items choices there, like you mentioned, Band, Tinglu, Scale Shot, Dragonite. I think both were holdovers. I think the idea is that I saw a couple Scale Shot Dragonite in this GC from Japanese players is picking up in usage a little bit. It's one of those things that no one was using in Regulation G Part 1, and I think after figuring out that it was very good in Regulation H, more people are experimenting with it, and that's really cool to see. And yeah, it's they think that if you think that Scale Shot Dragonite is the play, and obviously you need a lot of help with Ice Rider, your Zacian is the single best restricted into Ice Rider, and so I think that was the rationale. I can't speak to the Tinglu, for example. The Choice Band Tinglu is maybe a little bit more of a best of 1 choice, something that people are not expecting. Normally, when you see a Tinglu, you expect it to be Rocky Helmet, I think, nowadays. And so Choice Band definitely probably caught some people off guard. But yeah, it's a cool team. I like the concept. I said at the start of Regulation G Part 2 that Zacian was the restricted that I think had some of the most potential in this format, because the people who were really trying to build Zacian, which were I think Kian and Grant mostly in Reg G Part 1, did really well with it, but just not a lot of players were really trying to use it and trying to build it out. And I think it is a very different restricted. It takes some creativity to build effectively. And so it's cool to see someone dedicate the time and effort to trying to figure out how to make Zacian work, and coming across a brand new build that no one had really tried before and doing really well with it.
To be fair, it's still just a Dragonite. I really like that maybe this Dragonite is part of a matchup check into stuff like Dozo, obviously, because it's Scale Shot Haze, probably. Maybe it's Anchor. I think there was, on the Twitter post, there was a rental in the replies. But probably they could have still changed the sets, obviously. But I think that Dragonite has some potential. It can also haze the Zama boosts away. I mean from the Zama team, not the Zacian team. There was a rental
Gotcha.
in the replies. But to be fair, I think there are some cool takes, but this team still looks a little sus. The thing about Zacian Best of 1 is that you can run a bunch of different Terra types, and I love Substitute Zacian. I hope they were Substitute Zacian, but Substitute Zacian is amazing. It's the best set by far.
Do you guys know if it was Tailwind Dragonite?
I don't know for sure. No.
Yeah.
I just know that it was Scale Shot Protect.
Yeah, the team looks like it doesn't really need to. I mean, Choice Band Tinglu Max Speed and Tailwind would be funny, but it has these.
Cute.
Yeah.
I think the Zacian had stabs. I know that much. I think I had Play Rough.
Yeah.
But anyways, yeah, this one is super cool, and I think that there is the option to just get the whole team report. So if you guys are looking for that, definitely you can find it through Liberty Note. Team looks mad cool. And then this next one that we actually have a result of, I don't really care to talk about the Shadow Rider with nothing else specified, but congrats to you on your
Wow.
finish.
Alex always hating on Shadow Rider.
Of course,
I have
of course.
I have
Maybe
a screenshot
they're
of
the one that's
old
paired
team.
with mystery number 5. I have a lot to say about 5th as well, but first let's go into 4th because UB Slow. This is so funny. UB Slow wins a offline best of 1 IRL local, and it was best of 1 through the whole thing. They ended up going to there was a couple of people, like I think Elizabeth was at this local, and yeah, they played best of 1 Swiss into best of 1 Top Cut, and UB Slow wins the whole thing on stream with this team. And it was kind of funny because the team was out there. I saw a lot of people recreating it and trying it, myself included. And I thought that, surely you have to make some changes or, have to run something else to still find success. No, it just doesn't matter. UV Slow is just too good and just takes it all the way to 4th. A modest 60 points behind Suika still. Holy.
That is so crazy.
That's crazy.
I also sent you the team of a 3rd place, by the way.
Oh, let me go ahead and grab it then.
Also, Madeline Starling, thank you for the sub. Really appreciate it. Welcome to Tub Nation.
Thank you so much. Okay, let's see. You actually had the 3rd one. Oh, okay. Wait, no. I said, oh, okay, like I recognized it? No, I don't. This is like Ting, Dozo, Pow Knight, Ogrepon. Yeah, honestly, it seems like a really, kind of crazy 2-2-2 without, a Dozo Geary mode, but, instead, Ting Dozo. I don't know. I don't hate it as much as I hate other Shadow Rider teams. So, this one actually looks pretty cool. I think Kyle's team is a cool Shadow Rider team. Mattie, I have a feeling what yours looks like. Let me go take a quick peek. Yeah, no, I don't like that stuff. I don't have good stuff to say about that.
I'm so offended.
Oh my gosh. Okay,
no,
so I don't have
Shadow Rider's hard.
It is. I just there's so many different play styles to it. There's the classic setup, protect it like Mr. President. There's the specs one that are all out immediate damage, and then there's these people running these sash ones to try to be a bit more of an annoying early game or late game. It has a bit more flexibility that way, and it has a lot of cool supporting moves it can run, like Encore and Disable.
I was about to say.
Yes, you can definitely,
especially in the GCs.
Yes, I love it. I think that is the coolest place to be doing interesting stuff with Shadow Riders. Like those sets, those ones are really, really cheeky.
Yeah.
So this person, by the way, they did well in the previous GC. And they censored their restricted, but ran these 5 Pokemon. They did even better this GC, and once again have censored it. And I'm gonna put the question to you two guys: what is the missing piece of the puzzle? Because I genuinely don't know.
I'm guessing it's Electric Seed Sneasler, even though there's a Rillaboom on the team, and it's Rising Voltage Raging Bolt, so it's a Miraidon.
I
think we should do team preview for actual tournaments like this too, where you see the 5 Pokemon and not the restricted.
Adi's not advocating for a return to closed team sheet. He wants to go back to no team preview, dude. Team preview ruined VGC.
I mean, doesn't this look like a very standard Shadow Rider team? And then you have Sneasler to also punish dark types.
I think Shadow Rider. The Calyrexes were what we said was the most obvious fit. But even between the two of them, I can't say with certainty which one I think it should be. I guess Shadow Rider enjoys double fighting a bit more to hit the dark types than the normal types. So Shadow Rider seems... Billy in the chat is saying that it's Terapagos and that you played against them. 99% sure. All right, well,
wait,
I don't trust your
what?
99% sure. I'm going to be more certain than that.
I mean, Sneasler is also good for the... If it's Shadow Rider, it's good for the mirror, because if they don't Terra, you have a Stra Brush, and if they Terra Normal, you have CC. If they Terra Fairy, you have Gunk Shot. If they Terra Grass, you have Gunk Shot. So I'm 99% sure it's Shadow Rider, but if it's Terapagos, I'm out.
Right? I agree. Giratina.
Kali
Dude, if
Shadow
it's Giratina.
Kali Shadow and Terapagos teams sometimes just have the exact same mounts. Between those two and like Ice Rider, like I swear I've used like the exact same 5 mons with each and just changed restricted and it works. It's so
Mm-hmm.
stupid.
Yeah.
So
Was
it
2D
could be
Watson.
any.
Yeah.
Oh, it's Calyrex base form. Okay. Cosmo. Yeah,
Oh.
we're getting out all the
Oh.
good guesses now. Thank you guys. Thank you
Mhm.
all for
What if
your
it's
very
not a
helpful
restricted?
It's not a
Actually
restricted.
weird.
It's just 6 Pokemon.
It's Incineroar.
All right. Agati ended up doing pretty well. I think Agati was 4th. Is this the yes? Okay. Agati was third in terms of the championship point regions. So yeah, you can see Suika Joji here.
Patrick Room on 5th. Let's go.
Sorry, which one?
William.
Yes.
Isn't he playing
Yes.
Patrick Room only?
No. So that's the thing, Michael. He's actually not a one trick, and he told me I could talk about the team that he used to get 12th here. He doesn't have a Twitter, so but yeah, he used well, Billy, you're in the chat here. Should I just pull up the picture, or should I just mention the mons in a more mysterious fashion? Because it has Iron Crown,
Okay,
Baxcalibur. Baxcalibur, are you back in?
Okay.
And then
Oh,
you can drop the
a
paste.
V-Bags
Okay.
Caliber.
Sec. Let me.
Or like this sounds interesting. Indeedy, Bags, Crown. The restricted probably? No, not Shadow Rider. You are not running triple psychic. Oh. What?
Oh man. Every
I should have
Kyogre
left. I
team
should
in
have
the
left Michael
GC
to
Is this
continue
a
guessing.
citrus
because-
berry Indeedy mail? Is this a citrus berry?
Oh, it's incredible.
Yeah. So
Is that to survive a searching strikes? I'm honestly what?
It looks like it, right? That's the defense investment.
But you have rain. No way you survive rain boosted searching strikes.
I mean, you can lead it, right? You can lead in DD Crown.
yeah.
There might be situations where it comes up.
This is
Yes.
insane. It was shamelessly stolen from another Japanese player. Well, not I said another Japanese player like Billy's Japanese, but I just mean that it was stolen from a Japanese player. But yes, crazy team, and I don't know. I mean, I definitely wouldn't know exactly what to expect if I'm queuing into Archaladon, Baxcalibur, Iron Crown in Regulation G. That's super goofy. Doing so well. Locking up 5th.
I think Kyogre is the single scariest restricted to play in closed team sheet because it can do so many different things. And you can build it in so many different ways. You never know what item it has. You never know what moves it has. You never know if it's like super bulky or just super fast, if it's timid or if it's modest. Like all these things make so much of a difference. It's Terra type, right? Terra Grass, Terra Water, Terra Electric. All these things.
What are we?
I've played a Terra Electric Kyogre the last GC.
No.
Happens.
Ice has got to be better. Ice is better. That's the Blizzard one. I'm kidding.
No, right?
I
I mean
to...
that Terra Ice cut Japan Nationals, right? Like they're all over the place, and it's so hard to play against them because there's so much uncertainty. And if you want if you want advice on how to play the GC, I always recommend Alistair's team report from 2022, where he talks about how he did really well in one of the Dynamax GCs. And, he said, you want to create as much uncertainty as possible for your opponent. And if that's your goal, Kyogre is the pick because they have to play around so many different things. And you can continue to just play your team, execute your strategy, and make very safe plays.
Smart.
It's so sad to not see Hydro Pump though, because I assume
I do like
every
Hydro,
Zama
yeah.
player sees Kyogre on the lead when you just click Choice Scarf, Water, Hydro Pump, and they are like, okay, GG.
Well,
after turn one.
sometimes you can at least like force them to go like 1-for-1 with the move. Like if the Zama has to click Wide Guard every now and then, or every other turn, then maybe something else on the field can trade better.
I mean,
with
that
their
team
other
looks
Pokemon.
very weak to White Guard Zama, I think, but
That's fair. No, honestly, that does seem pretty fair. I think Zama's a fraud.
Anyways.
I think Zama's a fraud, especially in Best of One, dude. Like, who would run Zama in Best of One? That thing's so unfun. That's always how I feel about it.
Real.
And so, yeah, let's see if any of these other ones are interesting here.
Zama's probably the
Oh,
most predictable restricted, right? Like,
Yeah.
Exactly. Like what we
Yeah.
talked about with Kyogre, it's just kind of the complete opposite. Like you usually
Mhm.
know what you're going to be getting into.
There's a player who played CSR Shifu. Wow. And he hides me over.
We don't even know which Shifu it is, dude. It might just be. It could be either. Whoa!
That's so weird. I love
How
the
can you?
censorship on these.
Could be
Yeah.
anything. Well, that's the
Who
funny
else
thing
we
is
looking
because
for?
they're not necessarily like they will be done with Reg G in Japan. If you qualified, you don't really need to like save your build anymore unless you're giving it to a friend for the next GC. Because the next stage is
Yeah.
Reg I, is it not?
It
The
is probably. So yeah.
they'll be playing their next like Japan only online qualifier in the next format, I assume. Because it's not going to be like May will have already rolled around then. They'll probably be playing that in. It's probably not going to be the same weekend as our Grand Challenge, but probably sometime in May. Maybe the dates are already announced.
I really like the
remember.
team from the 22nd or 27th.
Yes,
they're
thank
really
you. Thank you for
creative.
putting these ones out. They're so thrilling.
There's so much Arabega. But the thing about Arabega is that every Arabega player plays it differently. Like I played 3, maybe 4, and they all led different things and they brought different mons. And so there is a lot of. It's not a team that you can really flowchart very effectively into because everyone does something different with it.
I'm trying to zoom in as much as I can on the Terrafire D-Knight with a fire type attack. What's happening?
Fire
Why-
punch? Or what is it? It's
It
gotta
Must
be
be Fire Punch, right?
It's
for
on a scale
what?
shot one, so like probably
I
just
guess
fire
Ice
punch.
Rider?
But
It must be.
why are we doing this? Because like there's not Kartanas and Ferrothorns in the format. Like we don't need fire coverage that desperately, do we?
It's the
I
Zacian
guess-
matchup.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Oh,
maybe.
Zacian.
Or after coaching boosts
It was
from
Fire Punch,
Valiant,
okay.
maybe you can do something like coaching Terrafire Fire Punch into Ice Rider, and when they cry, I don't know.
This one is goofy. This Electabuzz, Ice Rider, Dozo, Glim. Man. Yeah, there's that team. A lot more
one's
people
You
also
experimenting
intentionally
with.
skip every Arubega, 34th, 44th.
What? Yeah, what do you want me to say
Okay,
about that?
man. Michael, you got to think of a
40.
new Arabega fun fact every single time we pass one.
Yes,
Okay.
yes. I did actually include that in the, and I'll ask you guys your quick version of it. It was in case that we ended up running too quickly on time. I have is Arbig right on the level of Rinya Slunge / Big Six. Michael, you weren't playing VGC for either of these teams, so like I know that you are probably familiar with them. Mattie, apologies for me asking, but you've been playing for a bit longer. When did you start?
Yeah. I started in 2016, so yeah, like I
16.
know both these teams. I
Of
technically
course.
started in 2014, but I took it serious and went to tournaments like
Mhm.
2016. I was a Rinya Sun main as well.
Yeah.
So-
Okay.
Yeah.
So I guess then
let
what the
me
question
see.
is, like, people were talking about it recently, and they're saying, is Arbega Maridon the new Big Six? And then also comparing it to Rinya's son. And then there's one other one you could throw in the mix, which is Chalk, which is kind of like
Mhm.
they're all like slightly. I have my own takes on them, but I want to hear yours first, Mattie. What do you think? Do you think that where would you put it
Okay.
basically?
It's definitely not the new Big Six. I think that's by
Mhm.
far the most dominant one. Like that team is crazy.
Yes.
I think it's similar to Rinya's son, honestly.
Mhm.
Wait, what was the other team? I already
Chalk,
forgot.
technically Chalk.
Oh yeah, Chalk, of course. Chalk's a hard one, right? If we're talking about 2015 Chalk, I'm assuming, which it's
Right.
good, right? I was not very good at the game back then, but like that team didn't feel dominant until like Worlds, right? When all the Japanese rolled up with it. Whereas
Mhm.
Arabega, like Reg G was a way shorter format than 2015, and like Arabega was found way before Worlds, and like it was played a lot.
It wasn't.
I wouldn't say way
Worlds, right?
before
Like it
Worlds,
wasn't
because it
really
didn't have
around
a.
at NAIC.
But it was
NAIC is
definitely
the
on
first one
order before Worlds. Probably, yeah, I would say like probably like around after NAIC, right?
That's the
Yeah,
thing.
but
Is like we
also
kind of like
the format was shorter. We started in May, so I think it got discovered around the same time that Chalk
Yeah.
did. I don't know the timeline for Chalk. I was only barely playing in 2015, but like
I think
it
like
was a couple months into the format.
yeah, like 2015 started in like technically January, but like people played it before that, right?
Mhm.
So that was really like brought out at Worlds, I think. I mean, I'm not completely sure, but I'm pretty
Mhm.
sure, yeah. The other
I
team
think that the
Rinya.
trickiest one is where does it compare to Rinya? That's the most recent
Yeah.
one, and
Yes.
they also kind of like have. I guess Chalk honestly has like Japanese origins, but Rinya was built by a Japanese player, and
Mhm.
yeah, I
Go
personally
Vega.
think that also Rinya and so I guess 2022 and Reg G. Now that Reg G has gotten its rerun, they I think have had relatively similar life. Sorry, time lengths of life, whatever you want to
Yeah.
call it. They've had similar
Mhm.
lengths of format, and so right. The difference is that Rinya didn't win Worlds. Arubega did win Worlds, and then it also ended up winning that regional afterwards. Was that the B one? Starts with a
Birmingham.
B.
Birmingham,
Yeah,
yeah.
Birmingham.
That's
Um,
true.
and
Okay.
I like Rinya also did win. It won a couple of tournaments. It won.
It
Did it win
won Liverpool
internets?
regionals and it won EUIC, both their
E.
Agrios.
Yeah, back to
Yes.
back.
Um.
Uh,
Yeah.
and it won like Taiwan Nationals, something like that. I forget which one. But I think that Arubega is better than Rinya. Is better than Rinya's son. Arubega not only won Worlds, it got 3 in top 8 of World. That is absurd, right? That is
That is
something
crazy.
we've
Yeah.
only seen that with basically with Chalk, I think, and the Wolf team in 2016. Like those are the only ever two times we've ever seen something like that. I think I think that it's pretty comparable to Chalk in terms of dominance and in terms of the impact on the metagame. Where after Chalk dominated Worlds, the entire metagame kind of came down to: are you playing Chalk or are you playing something that beats Chalk? This Reg G isn't quite the same, but if you don't have a really solid Rebecca matchup, like what are you doing? Why are you bringing that team to a tournament? You know?
Yeah, I
Um,
agree.
I don't want to spoil the fun, but I have
Mhm.
never played against Arubega in an official tournament,
That's
which
funny.
makes me. And I have over 60 Wake G tournament games,
That is
official ones.
insane.
And
That's
How'd you get
insane.
top 4 at Worlds and dodge all the Rebecca top cut?
I wanted to play Arubega. Like Zamazenta is genuinely a good Pokemon to Arubega. In EOIC, I wanted to play Arubega, but I didn't face a single Arubega. And then I thought, like, okay, maybe Arubega is fake. But then everybody tells me, oh, I played against Arubega 6 times in a row, and I'm like, they don't exist.
When did you realize this?
After this tournament in Stockholm, I realized, wait, I didn't play any in Stockholm. I didn't play any in EOIC. I didn't play any at Worlds. Where's Arubega? And
a fake team. You should just stop prepping for it
that's why.
forever.
Yeah, that's why I would say Arubega. If you ask me, since I followed some of the, or I didn't follow the tournaments back then, but I caught up on them, and
Right.
literally Big Six is disgusting, and it's not
I
even
mean, of course.
comparable to
Of
that.
course.
In usage as well, and in how it impacted the meta. But I can see that it is very similar to Rinya in terms of what it achieved and how well it was doing overall, not just like the best finish, but how many players were using it. So I think this is wait, there's a red cut instant. I can't.
That's
I
the
think-
guy, dude. I talked about this last GC. Remember, I talked
Was it
about how I lost
Umbrellum
to a
team?
red card instant. Yes, this is the same team. This must be the same person.
Wait, what is this team?
Audie, can you give
it's like
can you give the quick version of it again? Basically, like it happened to you last GC.
So last GC, I was running almost the same team that I'll talk about in a second. And I queued into this, and they are like bold, Calm Mind, Leftovers, Calibric Shadow. They took like half from his Surging Strikes from my Urshifu.
Oh my god.
And so I'm playing this game and I'm chipping away and I get into a position where I have +2 Caloric Shadow with Helping Hand next to it, and they're in range even though they're at like +2 as well, right? And they're in range of an Astral Barrage, and so I go for it and they protect and they switch in their Incineroar. I'm like, okay, that's fine. I see the damage go down. The Incineroar goes down to like 30. It's dead next turn. I think this game is over. I've won this game. The item activates.
Yeah.
Checked it out. And my Caloric Shadow is off the field and they're at +2. And I can't come back and they destroy me.
That is insane.
It was actually the craziest game of GC Pokemon I've played. And yeah, they didn't do well last time, but they did make it into the top 120 this time. So I'm glad they did it. This team is nuts.
I'm gonna need
really
a
like
refresher on
that.
my red card mechanics because I haven't thought about the item much since 2016, or I guess maybe, I don't know. People that really didn't mess with it in 19, even though Xerneas was around. But you have to survive, right? You have to live to activate it. Like if you get killed, it doesn't work.
The cool part
so
is
fun.
that if you switch into a U-turn, the opponent can also still not choose their Pokemon, so it's random. It's a 50-50 basically what they can switch into.
It's not a bad item. I think like it's a bit underused, but maybe not. I don't
Which
know.
Pokemon do you really want to use it? Like it
Yeah,
has to be
I
a
don't
bulky
know.
Pokemon, which doesn't want to play another item that can have like more
Well,
value.
wait, so okay, never mind. I'm thinking of something else.
It's weird because it can backfire as well. Like most items are just good.
Yeah.
For Surging Strikes, do you get them out after one
After
hit?
3
It's probably all
hits.
three. It's probably all three.
Yeah.
Nothing ever really interrupts this number of Surging Strikes hits aside from like death. Like if Urshifu kills itself to Rocky Helmet, like then the rest of the hits aren't gonna happen. But if Urshifu's still alive, it's doing all 3 hits.
I'm actually not 100% sure how it works with emergency exit. I think with
That's a
emergency
relevant one.
exit.
Good question. Thank you. Yeah.
I think with emergency exit it stops. Pretty sure.
I actually saw a very funny just a ladder stream the other day, but it was a Moody Eject Pack Smeargle playing against another Moody Eject Pack Smeargle, and it worked out very funny because the faster Smeargle I don't know, the Smeargle whose Moody activated first did not get to switch out. The one that activated second got to switch out with its Eject Pack, and then somehow, because I guess they were just putting each other to sleep over and over, that Smeargle survives the next turn, the first Smeargle. Its Moody activates, and then it switches out with the Eject Pack the turn later. To break it down, like the simplest version for people to understand, the game can't handle 2 simultaneous switches. There's a similar mechanic if you Volt Switch off of a Pokemon with Eject button, or U-turn off of a Pokemon with Eject button. If you do that, the Eject button Pokemon gets to switch out, but the Volt Switch gets denied. So it's kind of a funky one. Happens situationally. What is this, Adi? What's the?
It's the answer to Michael's question. It does take the last hit of the multi-strike move, and then it'll eject out for emergency exit.
I see my Golisopod dying to Surging Strikes from Urshifu. Damn.
Yeah, sorry, Golisopod, not the Urshifu answer. All right, is it my turn? Is it my turn? Do I get to talk about my team?
Oh wait, yes, here we are. I finally found you. Okay.
The most.
That's the most boring team you could pull up with. I'm sorry.
Okay,
right?
but you can look at the moves. Look at the okay. So
the Rillaboom is actually wild. No.
Yeah.
Never mind.
Okay. So let me tell you. So I last GC I ran up with these same 6 Pokemon. I saw Tia Time's team from EUIC, and I like the idea. Obviously, I've used 5 of these 6 Pokemon at before, but I wanted to change it up because in the GC, if people think you're using one team and you use something else, it's a pretty big advantage, right? And so I changed the team up from Calm Mind, Covert Cloak, Calyrex to Life Orb Psychic, and yeah, I thought that let's see, so I did pretty well in the last GC. I was up to 1,700, which is like 2 or 3 wins away from what my goal was to get top 32, and I went on a stretch where I went 1-8. and almost all of those losses were to Ice Rider or Arabega, and Terapagos as well. But that one, whatever. That's a loss that you're willing to accept. You lose reasonably consistently with Calyrex. Arabega and Ice Rider are not. And so this GC, as you might notice, my background is very different. I just actually moved. And so I have not had a lot of time over the last few weeks to play Pokemon at all, basically. And so I kind of figured, let me roll up with the same team that I played 45 games with or whatever, and make some slight changes to try to help alleviate those bad matchups, because the good matchups, when I faced Koraidon or when I faced Zamazenta, I was crushing it. I felt really good, stuff like that. And so I just wanted to make some small changes. The mirror was really good. And so I wanted to make some small changes that would help me figure out how to beat those tougher matchups. And so the main change that I made to deal with, the first change I made Urshifu Stellar Terra to help with Terapagos. I still lost to the one Terapagos I faced. I changed Clefairy from Encore, which never came up, to Sing, which does come up because I love Click and Sing. And I hit about half my
Everybody
Sings,
does.
And I beat about half my Ice Riders because, that's the matchup into Ice Rider is Click and Sing. So I was supposed to change it to Terra Grass, and I just forgot to change the Terra type in game. So I had double Terra Ground. But the big change I made was I was already running Choice Band Rillaboom, but I changed it from Terra Grass, which you think would be the right call, to Terra Ground, because all these Miraidon on Arubega are going max bulk. And so just clicking high horsepower into them doesn't knock them out, even with Choice Band. And so I realized my line into Miraidon was going to be lead Clefairy Rillaboom and protect the Clefairy and Terra Ground Rillaboom and high horsepower. And they always click Volt Twitch. And they always just die. And I played eight Miraidon, including 3 or 4 Arabega, and they all led Miraidon, and they all just died.
Oh my god.
And so I got to play. And then if you think about it, the rest of the team, like Iron Hands doesn't want to take Terra Ground high horsepower. You set up your terrain so the Farigiraf never gets its Electric Seed, and it's not taking that very well. The only really scary thing is the Urshifu at that point. And they only sometimes bring the Urshifu into you, and you have other tools to beat that. And so, yeah, I did really, really well into Miraidon because of that one stupid tech that just worked stupidly well. And I managed to get top 32. I got 24th place in the GC among Western players. I was talking to Alex during the thing because I only played 32 games. I had 13 left, and I was at 1727, which was the rating that got 32nd place last GC. And I know that the ratings have only ever gone down in the GCs. If you look at the entire history of the 5 GCs that we've had so far, 6 GCs we've had so far, they've only ever gone down. And so I'm sitting there thinking, this should be safe. This should be safe. I was 78th place with 5 hours left. I could keep playing. If I win one more, I'm safe. But I trust the math. And I talked to Alex and Carson, and they said, yeah, you should be good. And so, yeah, I parked there, and I slowly watched my rating go down until I finished 120th exactly, which was good for 24th place. So I was safe. I think I was 3 or 4 points clear. Nerd of Now is in chat, and I think he got 30th or 31st. You can see that in the ratings. He got 29th. Is that it?
So wait, Mattie, you
30th.
You jumped 100 minus 4, 96 spots in terms of like earning championship points versus your actual like
That's
finish.
insane.
Yeah.
How many non-Western players were in the top 120 then?
And so you have to, like, this is where, being aware of this is very important, because the last 2 GCs I went and checked, the 32nd place finish was 143rd and then 151st rank overall. And this time, I think I saw Alex in chat saying that he got 153rd, and you see him there at 30th place. So it's a little lower than that. I don't know what place Thomas Irwin got at 32nd, but probably around 160, right? That's the bar for top 32, and it's only gone down. The rating is probably around Alex said he got 1724. So again, maybe 1723 was the cutoff for top 32 this time around, a little lower than last time. And yeah, it's that's kind of like, that was, it worked out really well for me in that I didn't have to keep playing. I was definitely sweating it out for the last 5 hours. It was nerve wracking, but I committed to what the math said was the right move, and it worked out. And yeah, really happy with the run. I could have kept playing, right? And for all I know, maybe I would have, finished in the top 30 or whatever if I had played all my games, but I'm not risking it when Unlike Michael over there, I don't have the luxury of having my Worlds invite locked up in 3 different ways. So
True.
I've got 2 quick questions.
Yeah, what's up?
But thank you first. But did you ever click Tailwind with your Pelipper? Because it looks like, for me at least, like a wasted move slot. But maybe it came up more often than I think.
I click Tailwind quite a bit. People don't necessarily like expect you to have it, and so you get it's fairly bulky. It can live in attack, and you get the turns to do it. The move that I honestly would have dropped is Wide Guard, because in theory it's really good, but in practice everyone expects you to click Wide Guard and plays around it. We found that out. I know, Alex, when you did really well in a couple GCs ago, you also dropped Wide Guard from your Valiant for the same reason, because everyone expects you to use it, and so you just don't have to actually click it. And yeah, so Wide Guard actually never once came up in a way that mattered for me, because they would always play around it. But they would always Psychic my Pelipper, or with that Calyrex, or they would always do something like that. Or I got overheated by a Groudon that played around it, for example.
Overheated by a Groudon.
I know,
Yeah,
dude. I love it.
the
I love
most
it.
It was the Eruption Groudon team.
I
knew they had
yeah.
Eruption, but yeah, they got 7th place. They don't have their team up there, but Ryan DM'd me on Twitter afterwards too. So like Wide Guard never came up. Tailwind definitely did, and it was important to have a speed control, even if it was slow speed control.
That's cool. And the second thing I wanted to mention, because you were scrolling through the teams, and I have to talk about it for just 1 second. Korea's team, Davide Korea, Nirimbo, he finished
What place?
67th, I think.
Okay.
With
67.
Eternatus. Not 60.
Oh.
Here, 69th.
Oh, so even better. Oh, this is the Kutesh team, is it not?
Yes, it is the Kutesh team, and we are going to see this team in day 2 of Stockholm Regionals as well. Spoilers.
Wait,
I think
day 2 Stockholm?
true.
No way.
I think
This
the
is
team-
Eternatus team that day 2 Stockholm? You're kidding me.
You were there.
Yeah, I did not know. I just know that Eternatus had as many day 2s as
Okay.
Zamazenta. But
I'm wrong. It was Eternatus Tinkaton. It was a different 6 Pokemon.
why is Eternatus? I guess why? Because Tinkaton has Fake Out and Faint. It's immune to Sludge Wave. But come on.
So actually, this is probably a good time to transition to talking about Stockholm. And so I do think that, just really quick off the top here, the day 2 usage were really funny, because that's what we were just talking about. Eternatus did somehow steal Zamazenta's spot in the top 8 here. Like, Michael, it's really funny that this is the tournament you win, and Zam could not be more like in the dumpster right now. Like, what the hell, man? What did you do to him? What did you do to your dog?
I mean, it was bound to happen, because Zamazenta teams, I really tried to get creative, and it's obvious that some pieces are just there. Like, you need Rilla or Amoonguss. You often use Pao, Chiyu, Fluttermane. Like, the getting creative with Zamazenta is super tough. And you just have so many unwinnable matchups. Every Dondozo team is a pain. Like the Terrapagos teams with Heatran, Screamtail are a pain. Every Incineroar you face, you think you can just body press them, but then they have Terra Poison, Rocky, and a Will-O-Wisp. They can always fake out your Zama because you are not Terra Ghost. If you run Terra Ghost, you just get Searching Strike. And all that stuff just makes Zamazenta worse, because now people actually started prepping against Zamazenta back at Worlds, even like 2 months ago, even after Worlds, because Worlds, to be fair, there were only, I think, 5 Zamas in day 2 or something. It was still on the low end, and afterwards, like in Reg G 2.0, the Birmingham Regional happened, and then Zama was the best placing, or not the best placing because it didn't win, but the best performing restricted in the regional, and then it went downwards pretty quickly because people started prepping for it. And it is easy, I think it is easy to start prepping against Zamazenta. I would still say it's a solid Pokemon itself, but building a good team around it was really, really tough, especially nowadays that even something like Rocky Helmet Among Us being the second most used, or here it's always in the top 4 of day 2, which is annoying because you cannot reliably remove it, and that's why I just think Zama that's why it developed that it's so bad now, and it will not get better than that. I'm serious.
That's tough. That's tough. I mean, there's only so much Reg G left, but yeah, we'll have to see if anybody at Atlanta can try to prove you wrong. But I'm definitely like with you on that. It does feel like it's really difficult to get creative with it. And then people just kind of like they know their lines into the more standard ones at this point. Yeah, some really funny mons in the regular non-restricted day 2 top 12 as well. Smeargle, Clefairy, and Ndidi all making their way onto the graphic is like, whoa, okay, hold on. What are we doing here? What's happening in this day 2?
Where's Half-Flame? Or
This
what's so missing? I think just Half-Flame is the one that pops into my mind immediately.
Yeah,
Dark
Hearthflame
Shifu,
disappeared.
maybe.
Yeah, Dark Shifu, I guess.
Lando is gone, Chiyu gone, but they're
Yeah.
like somewhat more fringe anyways.
Farigirov.
Oh,
So,
Giraffe.
I'll give you the numbers. Smeargle and Clefairy had 7 uses, and then Ogrepon, Chiyu, and Urshifu Single Strike all had 6, so they were all one spot behind.
Makes sense. That makes sense.
But yeah, notably, Smeargle, Clefairy, both those guys, just the classic Shadow Rider partners, right? I know Michael used Smeargle with Ice Rider, but it's like, yeah, I mean, what do you want to say? EU loves their Shadow Rider, and these are the Shadow Rider versions that did well, I guess. So,
Right.
Yeah,
that
the
kind of
Giga
explains
Drain
why.
Calyrex especially. I think one of the Giga Drain Calyrex is cut, and 3 or 4 of them made day 2, and they always had not Screamtail, Clefairy, Smeargle. Oh, there were 3 in day 2, yeah. So, and 2 of them cut, so that's not too bad, actually.
They did pretty well for themselves. All right, but yeah, let's get into it, Michael. Tell us a bit about your team that you ended up winning the whole thing with. How, like, without launching into a full team report, because I'm sure that people can find that from you on your stream or. But anyways, tell us a bit how you got here to winning Stockholm, basically using this build.
So I basically saw that Zama will not be good anymore. I played Zama at EUIC, still finished not too bad, top 128, but I already said that's it for Zama. I am off the dog now. And then I played 2 online tournaments on one weekend. And one I tried the Trapagos Hedron balance. And then one I tried the Billy Hard Trick Room team. And I had so much fun with the Billy Hard Trick Room team. And since I was going to Stockholm to support my friends mainly, I wanted to support my friends and not sit there 1 hour per round just trying to timer store my opponents or win by clicking Core Mine, Switch, Fake Out, Protect, Substitute, and just I didn't want to play long games, so I was looking for a team that has not that many games. So I was content that I wanted to play Hard Trick Room. But I didn't know which version I wanted to play. So I just logged in Billy's version at first with the Half-Flame instead of the Torkoal and instead of the Raging Bolt there's a Ursaluna Blood Moon. But I thought the Kyogre matchup with Among Us is maybe a little tricky. And then the Vancouver Regional happened, and I saw Brian's team. Brian Collins played on stream against Joe, and he's like the matchup looked so easy, and I was like, wait, the matchup looked so easy. I think against Awubega, the matchup is also not that hard, so I should maybe play it. But Awubega is fake, right? So then I thought, okay, maybe not. But then Hard Trick Room outperformed in Vancouver. It top cut multiple times. It finished second. So I was really, really sure I wanted to play Hard Trick Room because in Vancouver, many players performed with it. And I know that I can perform well with it as well because I'm really good at thinking 3 to 4 turns ahead, and that's all you need for Hard Trick Room. And that's why I locked in that particular Hard Trick Room team, because it looked really good on stream. And I made some changes, as you can see. I changed the Indeedee to Rocky Helmet, Terra Fairy instead of Psychic Seed Terra Dragon. But the rest is pretty much the same. I played my own spreads, kind of. But the team was insane. I got carried. Like I had so many insane matchup. My matchup spread is a little bit weird because I played against 0 Ice Rider, against 0 Zamazenta, 1 Miraidon. Instead, I play against 5 Kyogre, so the Goggles Bolt was insane. I play against 3 Koraidon, 2 Lunala, so it's a little weird, but the team had a really good matchup spread for the tournament, and that's what I expected it to be, and that's why I made the call to run that exact team.
Somebody asked about Terrifier on the Ice Rider. What was that for mainly?
So it's just if you play against Incin and you have Smeargle, not Shadow Rider, Smeargle Ice Rider, you can just click Decorate, Terrifier, Glacial Lands, and win the game immediately. Because next turn you can click Follow Me, Trick Room, and that's why we also max speed on Smeargle to have a faster fake out than the Incineroar. Because a lot of players will expect your Smeargle to also be min speed, but then your Decorate goes before Glacial Lands, and that's the cool part. It looks like a hard Trick Room team, but I did not click Trick Room turn 1 that often. More often, I try to get some Glacial Lances off first, then set up a Trick Room, because then your opponent has fewer resources to stall out the 1 Trick Room. Because it's really hard to set up 2 Trick Rooms if you only have Indeedee without Protect and Calyrex as Trick Room setters. So that's why Terrifier really helped out, because if you don't have Terrifier against Incin, every time you have either to click Follow Me and lose one of your redirection users immediately, or you risk just getting Will-O-Wisp. So it really helped out into that. It helps out into Dazzlingly Miraidon in theory, and you can take away the water weakness with the Sun from Torkoal. And you also, as you saw in the finals, Rio's team, for example, Rillaboom, Lunala, Rillaboom, Shadow Rider are boards that are really, really often on the field. So you want not Terra Water, because when you're weak to grass, if you want something like Terra Fairy, it's neutral across the board, but then you keep the steel weakness and you don't get any valuable resistances. You don't resist fire, you don't resist grass, and that's why Terra Fire is definitely the best choice.
Yeah, I'm a Terra Fairy hater. I just like, you gotta pick and choose some resistances. Like, yes, it comes with weaknesses, but like, I just hate.
Yeah, exactly. Also, if you don't have Terrifier, not Heatran, also Heatran, I guess, but Chiyu Fluttermane or Chiyu Shadow Rider, you cannot do anything. When you just click Astral Barrage Heatwave, you lose. Or if they just click Heatwave Dazzling Gleam, you lose. There's no counterplay. We don't have White Guard on Smeargle, so you definitely need Terrifier if you don't want to have an auto lose into that.
What would you say was the most standout match that you played in your run?
So all my stream matches were insane, right? I don't know if you have watched them.
I watched some. Yeah.
They were
But go
all
ahead.
game threes, and all came down to the wire. I'm really proud of the play I made against Jamie in top 4 in the last game, in the last turn, or not the last turn, but the second last turn, where I switched the Indeedee to Raging Bolt, predicting him to double up the Ice Rider. That was one of my favorite moments. But standout game or standout set was against Pardo in round 3, because as I said before, I wanted to play the team to have just 20-minute sets, maybe 10-20-minute set. That set lasted an hour.
Yeah. You can't do it against this team. That's not your fault.
And the cool part was that this was where Decorate Smeargle is really, really clutch. You can just decorate your Ice Rider spam Glacial Lands. Also, the single strike Urshifu is really good into that. But game 1, I CC crit his Urshifu, which I see C crit his terrestrialized Terrapagos, which probably didn't matter. Game 2, he won. In turn 1, he crits Ivy Catcher into my Ice Rider. I still try to maneuver because he has no attack invest on the Ogre Pawn, but I lose because I'm in Terra Starstorm range. So both games get decided by crits. And then game 3, we play a normal game, which comes down to some reads, and then I just hoped that the Terrapagos stays asleep for 2 turns because it burned 1 turn. And in the game before, he had 3 1-turn wake-ups. So I was just sitting there. And I see that it is fast asleep. And I didn't pop off because I usually only pop off on stream. You saw it multiple times probably. I should have popped off when I opened my water bottle or when I tried to close it, because that was also a funny moment. But overall, that set is one I will not forget, because there were so many crazy turns from both of us, which made this set really, really worth. But yeah, other than that, I guess the round 9 was also really funny against Jamie, because we had a really good chat, and since we both were 8-0, we could both prep against each other, and in game 2 we just sport each other, and then it came down to sleep turns. But he got, like, I got 3 sleep turns on my Ice Rider, he got 2 sleep turns on his Heatran, but then I also dodged the Magma Storm, and then he told me he didn't miss a single Magma Storm in the entire tournament. Zoomlens do be helping with that. I still think Zoomlens is cringe. I understand why people play it, but you could just slap leftovers on your Heatran and then get more substitutes off. But
right.
I guess he just wanted to make sure that he connects all his Magma Storm. To be fair, I dodged the Magma Storm, which was not boosted by Zoomlens. So it is an interesting fun fact.
I think if you run it without Zoom Lens, you get to like pop off every time you do land it. Like, you know, shout something like, I connect!
I connect! Literally, that was me and against Jamie in the semifinals when I Draco'd with Walking Wake. I literally, in my head, this clip was just playing, and I was like, I connect! And yeah, that was funny. But yeah.
One quick question before we move on is, did you play Eric in round 10 or not? Just curious.
It is interesting because I sat down and I asked him, should we even play? And he said, yeah, because it's up to you. For me, it's for top 16. He would have been locked for top 16 anyways. But if he goes 8-2, he might have to play the extra round, right? I was first seed anyways. So then I thought, okay, I will bait him. I will use the wrong Pokemon on purpose, but I will play it normally because I can face him in the top cut again. Then he thinks that's my best line. So I know my best line is Smeargle, Ice Rider, Torkoal, and Didi. But against him, I never brought Torkoal, but Urshifu in game 1 and game 2. Somehow I won game 2, and then I decided, okay, I should win this. I'm just going to win this, so I bring Torkoal in game 3. And then he outplays me and I lose. So at the start, I was like, okay, I will bait him. Then I tried to bait him. I go 1-1, and then I was like, okay, now it doesn't matter. What are the odds that I play against him in top cut again? Now I will reveal my true plan. And then he outplays me. So I
at
lost.
least you knew that going into finals.
Yeah.
Well, that's the best case scenario, right? Because then you won with a different game plan and you lost using your actual game plan. So he never thinks you're going to do that again, right?
Yeah. I mean, he led with Incin, Lunala twice, and he led with Lunala Cornerstone once. So, I mean, the team... I knew the lines because it is very similar to the Terrapagos team, but instead of bringing Urshifu, because Urshifu is not as good as Torkoal here, because Torkoal was bad into Terrapagos to begin with, but here there's no like weather removing restricted, and also this team, if he brings tornadoes to set up rain dance, he has less glacial lance answers. So that's why I think I had a good matchup into him. I definitely did. But what really caught me off guard was, that's why I was happy that I played him in Swiss. His Lunala outspeeding my Smeargle was a little surprising. And the second thing that really surprised me was that the Incineroar with the Rocky Helmet was actually close to max SPDF, which is a wild bait because I did not figure out the spread until finals. And then in finals, I thought, okay, my Earth Power will do a taunt where I clicked Earth Power Glacial Lance. And then he revealed that he was max SPDF. I guessed it after the Glacial Lance damage, also from the Swiss stage, but I never really calced it myself. I just assumed he has more depth because he's a Rocky Helmet instant. It makes sense. And Lunala is also not the best Pokemon against the Urshifu Rapid Strike. If it can just Searching Strikes, Urshifu Rapid Strike outspeeds. But he was SPDF, and that really caught me off guard. So shout out to Eric for really crazy spreads.
We have a question in the chat here. Said, how significant would you say having quick sets throughout the tournament was for fatigue?
Yeah, I think, I would say fatigue is always a thing, but to be fair, the first rounds were pretty smooth. I think Mattie can agree on that. The first 5 rounds finished really quickly.
They did, yeah. It was crazy fast.
Yeah, but then in round 6, there was a set that had like 6 games because of multiple disconnections, and that's why we had to wait a little bit. But the good part about just having quick games is that you can obviously relax a little more, but it can also throw you off the game. Maybe you won your set and you are fired up. You want to play like right now, and then you have to wait 50 minutes sometimes, and not that much, to be fair. But and then you lose your fire, and then you start playing worse. So it can also be a downside having matches finishing quickly. But overall, it's just good if you just want to watch others play. Also, if you want to scout the stream for day 1, for example. It helped me because I played against Marcus Ko, the Dondozo Ice Fang guy. He was round 3 on stream against Chichiot. Then I played against him in round 4 or 5. And then I was already able to get lines because I was able to scout him. So that's another upside for finishing quickly. But overall, it can be both. I think it has more upsides than downsides, but I think it also helps against fatigue, of course.
I can't imagine that Marcus Co had any quick ones after watching how that round 1 stream went. Well, I guess it wasn't round 1, but the first stream set. That was brutal to watch. And yeah, apparently also they had like stream issues, which was really unfortunate to hear.
Apparently, like Chichiot's screen turned black multiple times, and he asked the judges what is going on, and they said, "Yeah, just keep playing. We will figure it out," which is wild.
Right. It's just really unfortunate that happened. And also really unfortunate that we had to watch a Dozo versus Terapagos stream match at all. Like it was such a boring, slow set.
Went to timer in both games, right? I haven't watched it to the end.
Yeah, that's what I heard. So. I also did not watch the whole thing because who could if you didn't watch it live? I gotta say really quick before we jump into talking about Eric's team, this is just kind of like why I hate Reg G, and what is so hilarious to me is how wildly different the schedules can be. Because Michael, you were talking about all these Kyogres you faced, how many Ice Riders you didn't face, how many Miraidons you didn't face. Eric could not be more the opposite. He didn't face a single Kyogre. He faced a lot of Ice Riders, a lot of Miraidons, and it's just wild.
Just
to me.
one Ice Rider, to be fair.
Wait,
Actually,
no, he played. Oh, the same one. You're right. My bad. I saw the two Ice Riders, but it technically is just a rematch. Yeah, I
yeah.
don't know.
Okay,
These
but Alex,
schedules
have
are
you
so good.
considered if you're going to Europe, you should know that you're just not going to face Ice Rider and you're going to face a lot of Shadow Riders, right? Like that's just metagame knowledge.
You're right. I mean, the fact that like I don't know, it's just like the 4 or 5 Kyogres in Michael's schedule versus none here is just so whack to me. It's just so
It's
crazy.
crazy. Yeah. Like even like my events, like the different teams you fight every time. It's like studying for like a test, but like there's 100 topics,
You
and
don't know
like
what's gonna be
20
on the
of them
test. Like,
actually
yeah,
come up. Yeah, like it's so
Also,
stupid.
I still have a very interesting fun fact. Why are there 3 Koraidon in day 1 for Mava? What the flip? Um, but the fun fact I wanted to talk about is that to my run, after round 7, all my opponents, 5 of my opponents were 6-1 and 2 of them were 5-2. So we were so close on having a player with all 8 opponents making day 2.
yeah. You were 2 off. It looks
Unfortunately,
like.
yeah, and Lam played against Rios in the win and in.
Oh,
And Mark Tual Barbosa also had a really close win and in against Dubious, I think it was. No, it was
mhm.
Ruben. It was Ruben Giancini. So it would have been really funny to just say all my opponents made day 2. But oh, hi Lam, welcome.
So, Audie, you linked this. This is Kim is the one. Were they the one that built the jump left team that Marco Fierro used, or am I thinking of something
Uh,
else?
I couldn't tell you. I'm not sure.
Does anybody else know? I'll check their Twitter really quick, but I thought that they might have been the
I'm
jump
not
left
sure.
team
To be
builder.
fair, there's it was Shifu instead of Ogapon, but to be fair, the Callbind Lunala with Incineroar is like not super special, I would say. So sorry to hate on that, but
No, you're
it's
good.
just
The team is relatively dry. That's 100% factual.
I guess like the ability shield Torn is very cool for Rios's team.
Mm-hmm.
But overall, I would say that these balanced teams with Incineroar, I cannot stand them.
No, I'm
I think
100%
Sorry,
down.
Maddie.
it looks
Yeah. No,
it
I
looks like they
actually
did build that. Yeah.
agree. I actually agree. I kind of hate double fake out. I'm in a moon. Like it's so boring. It's like trying to make like the most minimal like gains like every single turn. Like especially all these calm mind restricteds that are just the same but like a different
Mm-hmm.
flavor.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
Terrapius, Kyogre, Lunala. Like it's all the same, I swear. But
So
Yeah.
I don't have a
Alumungus is
ton
a bit of
of
sauce.
I don't have a ton of questions about how a team like this comes together because we've seen some of these like before, but I'll ask it
Yeah.
anyways. Yeah, tell us a bit about how you came to running this team, and then we'll also talk about any interesting games from your run.
Okay, so like it actually took me a long time to make this team, even though it looks really standard. Because at the start
I'm
of
gonna
Reg
hold my
G, like
I'm gonna hold the questions for the
okay,
end.
okay.
You keep going. Sorry.
So in the first part of Reg G, I was like using like Cloak and like Spell Tag Calyrex, and I was convinced like they were the best sets, especially Spell Tag. And I was using like these 6 but with Rillaboom instead of Tornadus, because like I thought Miraidon was too hard. Um and like I just was doing so bad. Like I was just doing so mid. And I had to bail on it for both Stockholm last year and for Worlds. Cause I just couldn't figure it out. And I ended up using Terapagos at Worlds with like a mediocre 5-3 finish. Cause I just ditched my team like 3 weeks before. My Terapagos team wasn't very good either. Um, but what I realized was like the missing piece was really the life orb on Calyrex, cause it makes the like there's like a bump I swear with life orb where like you 2-shot everything, but it's so like subtle, but it makes such a huge difference, and it's great to boost Psyshock as well, especially with GM packs. You just one shot like you can one shot like a Turret Fluttermane with Sword of Ruin and stuff like that. It's good into Pagos. It's good into like all of those calm mind restricted. Um, And then Torn came about like before EUIC, right? Because the team still felt relatively like I don't like double fake out, as I said. It was like sort of one-dimensional. You could do a couple of things, but Torn really gave it like a cool new mode that like could you just steamroll people with, and it ended up being like 100 times better than Rillaboom. Like
Mm-hmm.
you can play it as like a hyper offense team now if you want, and that's like really strong. You can play balance still. You can play like a mid range. Um, yeah. No, I really like the team now. I think it's really solid, and it's probably capable of winning a regional, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think my experience with Lifeorb, and you can tell me if you agree, is that you now all of a sudden Nasty Plot is like your least clicked move because you already have a boost
Yes.
unique.
Yeah, I was
Uh,
considering dropping it, like, as well, and I wonder if that's, like, a thing going forward, but it is still really good, so,
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
I
it's
think
so true.
I am really curious. You played double attack instant, right, with both Flare Blitz and knockoff.
Yeah.
Did you miss some utility like Willow or Taunt, or maybe something entirely else? Or do you think the set is correct that way?
Well, I've tested just about every move, so I
Mm-hmm.
think as long as a Moongus is on your team, you can get away without Will-O-Wisp, because it's really for Ice Rider. It's good in a lot of situations, but it's like literally essential versus Ice Rider if you don't have a Moongus.
Makes sense.
I just hate relying on it to like if you miss once, it feels like you just lose. Um, Flare Blitz is good because I actually run like Adamant Instant and it does a lot of damage. Uh, just in general, it's your strongest moves. Obviously, there's some end games you win. You can one shot Whimsicott on Arabega. You can just do a lot with Sword of Ruin as well. I guess it's different like because it's a Chiempo team. But there's just some fringe things as well. Like against Chiyu Flutter, you can put the Flutter into Aquajet range. Um, and I don't regret it at all. I think it's great. If I had to change it, I would probably run Helping Hand. Helping
Ah,
Hand's
yeah.
really good
Helping Hand
too.
is Trial Barrage.
Yeah,
The funny button.
yeah.
Um,
Oh, it's not bad. No, I think Helping Hand or Flare Blitz are both good.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
actually, what I realized now that I see this team, overall about all the teams we talked, that somehow in this regulation there are so many moves like restricted origin pulls, precipice blades and stuff can miss, but also Aubega only has Draco Meteor, my team only had Draco Meteor on Bolt, this team
Yeah.
only has Bleak Windstorm on Torn, which you can also like with Rain Dance you can play around it. That is just very consistent,
No, that's
Mhm.
so
which I like.
true as well. Like that's one thing that put me off meaning Arubega was just Draco Meteor on Miraidon. Is like you cannot miss that or it's really bad in a lot of spots.
Eric also had the
Makes
Flare Blitz
And
on the instant.
yeah,
Apparently, it was a good tournament for Flare Blitz instant.
nice.
And he only had one move that could miss. Oh no, I guess there's Bleak Wind, but I was
Yeah.
thinking of just power.
Bleak Wind has such good like positives that I allow it to be honest.
Yeah.
Because it's
Did you
spread
miss a
and the
ton of Bleak
drops.
Winds?
I don't click it a ton. I don't think I
Right.
missed at this tournament. Like at least it definitely didn't matter.
Yeah, yeah.
If
It
I
doesn't
did.
surprise me. It's probably not, like you said, like something you click very often because it's mostly built
Yeah.
around getting off big astral barrages. The Bleak Winds
You
just
definitely need to
sometimes
have
happen.
it, but
Yeah.
yeah, you don't click it that often. I'm actually going to come out with a team report this week at some point if
Nice.
anyone's interested. Probably going to do it on VGC Corner, so yeah, follow Brady for that as well.
Definitely.
Sweet. You know how
What
much I
else?
love listening to people talk about Shadow Rider, so I'm
I
definitely.
love Shadow Rider. What's
No,
interesting? Sorry.
go ahead.
I was
Go
just
ahead.
going to say I almost brought Michael's team actually to the regional. Like I
Wait,
considered it.
really?
Yeah. So for the GC like last month, um, I basically I have really bad GC finishes. Like I had one top 64 and then the rest are like really bad. And my friend Ryan got like top 32 in the GC prior, with like hard trick room. So he made like a group chat with like a bunch of Irish players, and we all just brought it to the GC. It was year 6. He used to use Blood Moon, and then I think we ended up using Bolt with Brian Collins. I actually brought like max special attack Among Us with Covert Cloak instead of Bolt. It was actually really good.
That's lit.
Because it kind of covers Zama and Kyogre. It's better into Zama. It's actually it's low key probably better into neither, but in best of one, close sheets,
It's better
it's
into
really
neither.
good. Yeah, like I have
Wait, what
no
is it doing
regrets.
into Zaba? What's it? I guess because it's like
You
just the
force a
just the spore.
Terra, and then you do
Okay,
like so much damage because you're quiet nature. You
that's
run
so funny.
Sludge Bomb and Grass Knot. It
Yeah.
one shots
Okay.
Wait,
Urshifu.
Sludge Bomb and Grass Knot and Spawn Rage
Yeah,
Powder. What
yeah,
the flip?
Yes.
That's wild. I like it.
yeah.
I
But
mean, Ryan also had a really good EIC one, right? 9-3 or something.
yes, yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. Bomber, Connor McCormick used the team as well. He just missed top cut. He lost the last round.
He
I think
played
he
a
got
full
top
mirror
3
against
too.
my friend, against Rocky.
Yeah.
But it was, and they went to game 3, and all 3 games were decided on Smeagol speed ties. I like
It's so
Smeagol.
stupid. The mirror is so bad. But
Yup.
yeah. No, I really did think the team was strong, but I went with comfort in the end, and I believed in my own team. I think I probably would have done worse without Trick Room, but I guess we'll never know.
But Among Us
Yeah.
But yeah.
cooked.
I
Yeah,
mean,
nice.
I'm looking at your matchup spread, and it actually looks pretty good for hard trick room as well.
Let me see.
Not
Yeah, it actually
not
does. Oh my god.
and not a single but right on, which is also really crazy. Like you were saying,
Yeah.
just such a weird format where you can just dodge the third most user restricted. Yeah, tell me
Mhm.
about your tournament run. Any highlight games you want to talk about?
Let me think. Uh, it kind of went well. I think it got pretty difficult when I started playing Terrapagoses. I managed to like, so I played Matteo Bellini in round 7. I did manage to win that set 2-0. I think in the first game I led Urshifu Chiampo in the first game and just like spammed the Terrapagos to get it low, like for the first 2 turns. Um, and then in the second match, I led Calyrex plus Urshifu. He only had a Grassy Glide on Ogre Pawn, which he led with Terrapagos in that game. And that meant Ursh doesn't get one shot, and I just clicked Nasty Plot and Surging Strikes and got like the high roll on the Ogre Pawn and KO'd it. But then when we rematched in top 8, he led Instant and Terrapagos, and I led Calyrex Urshifu. And I clicked Nasty Plot and Surging, and he just Terra Ghosted his Incineroar, and I just lost like turn 1. So that sucks. And then game 2, I led Calyrex Ursh again because I thought he would predict me to switch, but I actually just made the exact same play because like there's no way he'd Terra Ghost twice. So game 2 went slightly better, but like then I think turn 3 he like called my protect on Calyrex with a double protect just to stall out my protect, and then I
Mhm.
lost. It's a tough one, but
I mean, when you're running Shadow
yeah,
Rider, you definitely don't want to run into that team back to back in
yeah.
top cut. That's
I
just
was not
really
too happy about that.
that's
No,
so
but
unfortunate.
it's
The buy couldn't
doable,
save you.
honestly.
That's crazy.
Like,
Ugh.
I think it's better than other Shadow Rider teams because of Chiampa
Right.
versus Terrapagos, but it's still obviously very hard.
Hmm.
Right, and you have Psyshock too, which seems like a cool tech for that matchup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I have
Psyshock with
just
Sword
about
of Ruin,
like
especially.
yeah, like I have just about everything you could have, but it's still CSR, so
Like
it's
restricted against
rough.
restricted is rough for
Yeah.
sure. But the cool part
Mhm.
is if they don't Terra the Terrapagos, they cannot touch your Shadow Rider. But
Mm-hmm.
if they Terra the Terrapagos, then you also have to worry about Terra Starstorm. So yeah,
Yeah.
Hmm.
it's tricky.
All right. I see Alex is getting tired of talking about Shadow Rider now.
We
I can see
can
him trying
continue to
move us.
talk about more. I just we've gone into Eric's team a couple of times and then not talked about it. And there was actually one thing that I wanted to mention about Eric's schedule in particular, because I looked at this last night. Is I was like, he's running this stupid ability shield Tornadus. I was like, did he get any value out of
Zero.
this? Did he play against
Zero.
any Weezings? He did. Round 2.
Wait, he did?
Oh my
Just
God.
exactly one.
Uh-huh.
Round 2. He managed to beat the Koraidon Weezing team. Obviously the team didn't
Wow.
need an item on Tornadus for him to make it all the way to finals and have a pretty good shot at winning it, but that's just really funny to me that, you know, you could just run itemless and it's almost good enough.
I would feel very hard done by if I was that guy round 2 and played against the Ability
You're
Shield
right.
Tornadoes. Yeah, I would be so mad.
I'm still so surprised how many Awabega he played. What? He played
Yeah.
against Awabega in round 6, lost. And then he played it in round 9, top 8, top 16.
It's
Yup,
crazy,
yup.
like the difference.
It is that I this format just frustrates me to no end with how variable the schedules can be.
What
But
do you mean? It's so consistent. It's always just Lunala versus Ice Rider Hard Trickerman in the finals.
you're right. You're
It's
right.
just the same thing over and over
It's
again.
really weird.
It is
Yeah.
kind of hilarious that keeps happening. But yeah, this otherwise the team that doesn't have a ton of sauce and not a ton of stuff that I have things to say about. It is funny running Rain Dance on your Torn, or just like running Rain Dance Torn on a team without Urshifu. That is like kind of just like a shame. It's just like, who is this? I know that it's
Yeah, imagine-
anti-Koraidon, but
I think the Koraidon Weezing matchup is literally you lead Torn and click Rain Dance.
yeah.
And if they have some, I'm still curious. Like, I guess Moonguy's Beam ignores abilities, so you can boost with Lunala and then click Moonguy's Beam into Dondozo, which a lot of players didn't know.
Yes.
I was so sad when I saw the +1 Moonguy's Beam going into Ogapon in the semifinals, and I was like, please KO so that the commentators are surprised because they probably don't know it. And then the Ogapon survives on 1 HP, and then I'm like, oh, please, commentators, say something about Sturdy, but they didn't, and I was like,
No.
and because it survived war on 1 HP. That's an interaction a lot of players don't know about. But the cool part is like against this Koraidon Weezing team, you can like force with Dondozo in early, and then you go Screamtail, Encore, Disable, GG.
Yes,
So,
yes. That also just works very easy. You have multiple ways. One of the
Yeah.
casters did catch it at some point in Fede Campos set. He went for the Focus Energy Ivy Cudgel into the Rock Pond and got the one shot on it, and the caster didn't miss that
I
one.
guess
They pointed out
the
in the
Mode
breakdown.
Breaker one is a little more obvious, I think. Now
Right.
that it happened more often as well with, I guess, Swords Dance Ogapon against that as well, or if it just crits without Focus Energy. So we saw that a couple of times. But when did you see Moonguy's Beam the last time?
I know, right?
So,
Those are the two.
I saw it 2 weeks ago. What do you mean?
That's true. That's true.
actually,
What do you think
fair.
of Fede's team, Michael? I want to hear your thoughts. About exactly this
Um,
build that he ended up going to the top 8 with. Do you have a lot to say?
I think
I think
No.
he made a whole video about it,
I
right?
think no. Good answer. I'm looking at the rest of this, and it looks very European, except Jamie's team. Although I guess Jamie's team's look
Yeah.
European in its own sense, but like Mateo's, I don't have anything to say about that one. Boring, Kyogre, Calm Mind. What do we got down here? This is honestly not being played a ton anymore. I know that James Beck had Clef, CSR, Shao. I don't think he had Shiyu. He had
also with
something.
Citrus, Shadow Rider.
Oh,
So
true,
that's
true.
my man, Lewis. He had 10 accounts in the top 3 of the WEG Best of 3 ladder. Not kidding, because he literally played 2,000 sets. Not like before this tournament, but also before Worlds. He plays this team since Stockholm. And not this Stockholm.
The last.
I mean, last Stockholm. And
Yeah.
he
That's
never
crazy.
makes any changes. 2
No
weeks ago, when
changes.
there was the Victory Road tournament, he top 4 the Victory Road tournament. And look at his schedule, and look at the first. Look at the day 1 losses he had.
Oh, sorry.
It was like Lewis is a friend of mine, and he played against. We were 3 players running the same hard trick room team from Germany: Kusha, Wahim, and myself. And like that was just so funny because if he beat Jamie in top 8, he said he could have played it better, but he also lost on a 3-turn sleep in game 3. But then I could have ended his run, and then he would have lost to the same team 3 times in a row.
Yeah, I have to imagine that it's pretty favorable for you.
Now it is super over, but then Wahim just said in the first round, I just need my Smeargle into the Chiyu, and I just hope that my Smeargle is faster. And he spores the Chiyu, and the Smeargle outsped the Chiyu.
Oh
and,
my gosh.
And so the spore came out before the taunt, and it was crazy.
So Lewis did post his team with EVs and everything on Twitter. If you want
Yes.
to,
Okay.
if you want to see that, it's all public. Lewis also went, I think, undefeated 5-0. So not every week, but 5-0 in NPA with using this exact team every single week. So people knew it was coming and still lost to him over and over again. So yeah, he's been really grinding this team, and he's been doing super consistently well with it. And I think that's kind of to some extent. It's kind of the secret to doing well in a lot of these formats.
Agreed,
He also told me though that he connected over like all his games. He connected 80% of his things. So
That's crazy.
Let's go.
That's what it's all
That's the
about.
secret.
That's what it's
but
all
he's
about.
he's a phenomenal player. I before the
Phenomenal
tournament I
singer.
said if someone can win it, it's him, and he didn't do bad. So, and I'm also really happy for him because he had his Worlds invite, but he kind of needed money to go to Anaheim. But now that he top 8 that tournament, he said he can go to Anaheim, and that makes me really happy.
I think that the objective of, any Jamie Boyd team is to just look at every single Pokemon for it to make you mad in some way. And so I feel like he has done a good job of it here. Because, there's something about every single one of these Pokemon that I'm just like, ugh, really? Are you serious? Pretty much every single one. Like, I don't like Breaking Swipe. We talked about how Zoom lenses cope. I think Specs Wake is probably like one of the least offensive, but I still don't love it. It doesn't even have a fire move. Like sometimes they switch into the Rillaboom on you. Hit them with that. I know that we have other fire moves. We actually have a lot of other fire moves. Maybe we really don't need it. The sash is available. Just run it on your flutter.
On it.
I heard that.
Fine.
Yeah, the Boop one is fine, but it's max first stuff. Right. I think ESM ran max speed, but this is max first stuff. And the Flutter main. I heard, I'm not entirely sure if that is correct. Correct me if I'm wrong, but he wanted to lock Focus Sash Flutter main, but he locked Fairy Feather for the GC, and since he didn't want to catch a new Flutter main, he had to keep the Fairy Feather on it because you cannot change the team, right? Once you lock it in.
I heard that story too.
Man,
but
what's the point? You have so many friends playing VGC. You have a 10K sub YouTube channel. You can get another Fluttermane. It's not that hard.
It's really easy.
You have the people that can get you the Pokemon. It's like It worked out. It worked out for him. So
yeah. So
he has Violet.
Maybe the Fairy Feather
a little bit of an obstacle, but he's surely has enough connections. And then we have Flamethrower on Chiyu as the last one that bothers me. Because it's like, come on, just run Snarl. Snarl's too good. I guess, no, sorry, we don't need Snarl. It's on our Walking Wake. Never mind. My bad. But
double Snarl, you can just -2 them in one turn. Also, the Walking Wake, the boosters are really interesting. I guess Boot Bonnet and Fluttermane are the obvious ones, but the Walking Wake being a special attack booster, Walking Wake, is something you don't see that often, to be fair. Even with Icy Wind Fluttermane, it's very tough to get this Fluttermane Walking Wake board. But the special attack booster, I think, is really good into Ice Rider, for example, because you can nuke them with 1 Terra Water, some boosted, Photosynthesis boosted, Hydro Steam boosted, Hydro Steam, which is pretty funny. But this team makes me mad. Good job, Jamie. You got your goal.
It's true.
JB was so angry after EUIC that Wolf managed to win with Life Orb Koraidon before he did. So he had to give it one last run. He was talking that set up the entire format. Now here he is, proving it a little too late, but
It's
He
good to
did
see
prove
him
himself.
back.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, we had a nice interaction. We were talking about. Did you know that Cottony lost Tailwind access? That's so sad.
Did it?
Oh
Yeah,
wow, that's
I was
funny.
asking
I
him why
didn't
he
know
doesn't
that.
bring it anymore, but he said Cottony lost access to Tailwind, which is very weird. But what I also wanted to say is that Jamie was working on that team also since ages. So
Mm-hmm.
it's really nice to see when hard work just pays off.
Right. Definitely.
Mhm.
I'm looking through the rest of these. This is
Wait,
this.
you don't want to talk about Oscar's team? I thought Oscar's team was pretty cool.
Okay, yeah, I probably missed it. Is this the Ice Fang Dozo? Surely
I
Ice
asked them
Fang.
what Ice Fang is for, and I guess that there were two reasons. They wanted to hit Landorus, but the
God damn
grass
it,
types
Adi.
like Rillaboom and Amoonguss at the same time. And I hate you, Adi, as well. And it's also for animation time, apparently, because Ice Fang has a longer animation time.
Animation time. These guys should be arrested. Okay,
Crazy.
yeah, no. Ah,
Also, you have flinch and freeze odds, and it's better than Avalanche just because Avalanche is -4 priority. And
Yeah.
for those who didn't know, mechanics time again. Avalanche, if something like, let's say there's Among Us, Calc Shadow, common board for Mattie at least, and the Shadow Rider clicks Strahl Barrage, and the Among Us doesn't attack, instead clicks Rage Powder. The Avalanche does not get boosted if it goes into the Among Us, which is an interesting fact.
Yeah.
that's so weird.
Did not know that.
That is actually
I
really
also
strange.
thought if it moves last, it's double power, but they told me that, so they are probably right. They they played Ice Fang for a reason, so yeah.
It's
Mhm,
true,
Ice Fang, dude.
yeah. I actually played Avalanche Dozo at this event.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, round 1, I think.
Oh yeah. Okay, here we go. Avalanche
It is
E2,
the same
yeah.
team, but with some different
Yeah.
things.
Yeah. God.
Wow.
Yeah. You know what? I'm rooting against all the Dondozos. That's not a surprise for anybody to hear, but
Also, we
this
see
is
them.
beyond, even the conventional dozos make me upset, but this is a whole nother level of just running the stupidest shit.
Fair enough. Do you want to highlight the only Zama team that they tooled?
We
Winter.
can take a quick look at it because it
Yeah.
is pretty amusing that. Wait, why?
Tom Winter.
Oh, it's because he doesn't have his armor on. I was like, I can't even find him.
We
Okay.
know that team. It's
Yes.
which special event? Merida? No, not Merida. Sun. The
Cancun?
no. The one where it didn't win because Kyogre won. Which one was it?
Not real. That's that one.
I have no idea which one you're talking about.
Fortaleza was won by Kowaidon.
It might not.
Chat,
Maybe it
I
didn't win
need
any
your
official
help.
ones. But,
Puerto Rico. Thank you.
Okay.
Got it.
It's not on Top Cut Explorer whatsoever. But it also didn't win. It lost against Kyogre in the finals. But it performed really well.
Yes.
There, and then we saw it a couple of times also in Vancouver as well. It was one of the standard builds on Zamazenta now as well, with just the rain combination with Urshifu Pelipper. Really reminds me of my NAIC team from last year, where I also ran Zama, Scuff Pao, Helping him Pelly, Champao, and Goggles Pelly. But I just think that this team plays way too many mind games. I mean, Tom Winter had a really good one. He 9-1 the Swiss stage and made it up to top 16, where he lost against Lewis. I'm really curious about his one because I felt like this team has no CSR matchup. Okay, he beat CSR in round 3 and then didn't play any against. Okay.
Yep.
That checks out. Yeah, against the Groudon stuff, you have with Pally. Ice Rider is also easy with double White Guard. Also very wild team from the round one opponent, but again you have Pally, so if this team can match up check as well, but I feel like if you run into too many Shadow Rider, you just lose on spot.
Yeah.
But he at least beat one Shadow Rider, so
The other
yeah,
loss was
that's
to your team, so
oh yeah.
right here. Which I don't imagine is like super trivial because like it's a weather war in a funny way. Wide guard is definitely playing a
But
factor,
the matchup is
Bolt is
really
good.
tricky.
Bolt
Bolt is
solid,
really
though.
good against Pelipper, Amoonguss, Zama, Pao, Shifu, right? But it's still one of the worst matchups. I'm so happy that I didn't face any Zamas and any Ice Riders because those two. I haven't played any games with my team before the tournament, but theorizing, I realized the annoying restrictors are Zama and Kelly Ice, and I faced 0 of them. So sometimes you need that luck to win a regional.
What were the best Dozo finishes? I'll take a quick look. I thought that they didn't go
No
super.
top cuts, I think.
You got 22nd place with Steiner, who I think also is the same person who top cut EUIC with it. Is that right?
Steiner top cut
Really?
EUIC?
No, that
I
name
think
doesn't seem
Maybe
familiar. I
no.
think
It was the
different.
same. It was the same 6 Pokemon.
Victor
I don't remember if
Jimenez
it was the same
call.
person.
Victor
Oh,
Jimenez
the
call.
build. Yeah.
Okay, it was a Victor. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. But it's an interesting take because they are all different. Like if you compare the Steiner team to the Victor team, for example, also the Steiner team to the Victor team from EIC, they adapt, but it's still the same concept and everything.
Yes.
They just make minimal changes, which is nice because if you go into new regulation as well, if there are not a ton of new Pokemon or like Regulation H where suddenly a lot of Pokemon are banned, you only have to adjust a little bit and then you just play Comfort from Reg I to Reg G, kind of.
Yeah.
I don't think Dozo can work in a double restricted format.
I agree.
But those players are there to prove me wrong.
Yep.
I think it might if you don't bring both restricteds, like that. I don't believe in Dozo like by default, but I don't know if it becomes that much worse.
Yeah, we will
Like,
see.
yeah, like I tested it a bit, and sometimes you just don't bring the restricted, like a lot more than like a normal team.
Mm-hmm.
So my theory is that you bring like one restricted mostly.
If Dozo has a good
But-
matchup, it easily matches the power level of a restricted Pokemon.
Yeah.
So like you're very capable of benching one of your restricteds if Dozo is looking favored. So but yeah, I agree with the chat message here. Us Dozo players are very stubborn because yeah, the Dozo players are not going to give up. They only know one way to play the game. They're going to continue to do so every format till the end of time. You can say the same thing about the Trick Room players, which is pretty funny. A lot of the hard Trick Room players are just like dedicated. Michael's a Fairweather fan, really. He's not, one of the real ones.
Yeah,
he only did it
I
seemed
had
like
to
it could win.
I saw that there was like a Twitter beef about like
I
there
did see
was someone who said, "Oh, hard Trick Room players should stop complaining," and then they said,
Yes, basically that. Basically that.
I was not reading all of that, but I'm sorry if I offended any hard Trick Room players.
Yeah, by winning. You messed up, dude. It's so, honestly, it's just so selfish of you to pick up Hard Trick Room and win with it right away. Like, that's actually just so selfish.
It's, you know how much harder you're making all of their lives by winning this regional?
You'll never use it again, even.
I'm really curious on how. When's the next North American regional?
It's Atlanta in 3 weeks, I think. April 13th, April 12th.
April 13th. So not this weekend, not the next,
weeks.
but the one after. Yeah.
I will say you are making my life miserable by winning with this team because this team is such a pain in the butt to game plan for. And now it's on everyone's radar, and I got to learn to deal with it.
Just use Ice Rider yourself. That's my
Imprison Ice Rider.
But then
Nah,
make
in
an
prison
infinite
doesn't
zone,
even
of course.
work. That's what close combat was for. In prison, close combat.
There we
Now
go.
reborn.
Well, see, in prison close
Uh,
combat's kind of genius because if you go up against Urshifu Water, you can prevent them from clicking close combat, and then if they go for surging strikes, it's in the sun. So really, it's anti Urshifu. Yes,
Also,
this doesn't sound terrible.
anti-Koraidon.
Oh, Koraidon, true. The wolf Koraidon? That's so funny. Terrifier, and they can't flare blitz you. Oh, that's genius. Oh, that's really funny. All right, well, I think that's probably about it for Stockholm, so we can move on to the.
No.
Okay,
You gotta
what?
pull up. You gotta pull up Sander Tiggleman's team. You gotta pull up Sander's team.
Aber Eternitas
Sander.
one. Oh no.
Oh yes,
It got-
yes.
it got-
Oh,
Before
yeah,
we move on, we have to talk about this.
It got top 32. It's a really good finish.
Yo, get him up! Get him up! Get up the hazards! The sticky web.
Flip. Why is this the
That's awesome.
Okay,
Terra
to be fair,
Steel Flutter main?
to be fair, Araquanid only has 2 moves it wants to click. It does have a flex slot. I understand putting sticky webs in the flex slot, right? You only need liquidation and wide guard.
Dude, I played
I
an
don't get the
Araquanid in the GC as well, though, and it had Leech Life, and it pissed me off because it crit my Chen Pao, brought me down to Sash, and healed way too much. I was like, you shouldn't have all that health. Give it back.
I love Infestation. I think
Yeah, that one's fun
Infestation
too.
is a great move. But yeah.
This team lives in my nightmares. Yeah, what bothers me about this is, like, I get that we have the whole, like, haha, lead Tinkaton Eternatus, click Sludge Wave with Fake Out or Faint. But then, like, when Tinkaton goes down, like, I guess we have Terra Steel? Again, and I guess we have Wide Guard. You know what?
I was
Yeah,
thinking about what is Terra Steel on Flutter main for? Oh my
Yeah,
God.
they can click Icy Wind, Terra Steel, and then Sludge Wave. And you can also Wide Guard with the Araquanid. You can Protect with Hearthflame and Urshifu. You know what? I'm wrong. There's enough synergy here for the Sludge Wave. It's fine.
I back it.
This is so silly.
Also,
cool team.
there's still one last team I
What is
really
it?
want to highlight. 45th place.
Ethan, yeah, Iron Boulder.
There are like some wild picks in it.
Oh my
It's
God.
Ethan. Yeah.
What the heck? Helmet Pawn. Dude, imagine
I think
like you
this
get to
team
run
was
the...
built by Alessio Fusca,
Okay.
Nikio Alex. He played it in EIC, and I don't know how this can day 2 a regional, but hey, I'm not the one to judge.
Yeah. This is really funny. I like that they have the Helmet Ogre Pawn. I don't really like, I guess it is better than Amoongus because it's Follow Me instead of Rage Powder. They've got 3 attacks on the boulder.
All right,
Aim forward to
Michael,
Rapagos to hit.
you want to know how days 2 is a regional? You face 4 Shadow Rider in 8 rounds.
Okay.
You just got to go 2-2
Did he
against the
beat
rest
all-
of the field.
Did he beat all of them? Oh my God.
Oh, and there's a Rayquaza. Don't forget, he also beat a Rayquaza.
Yeah, Shadow Rider Slayer.
Rayquaza isn't bad. Like, it's scary.
What? Rayquaza's
Yeah,
not
but
bad?
I was
wait,
on the
wait,
ropes
Mattie,
against it at a
Mattie.
UIC.
No. That is.
Oh, dude, it didn't even earn points! Unless I'm missing it. I don't think it earned points.
No, I probably
No.
didn't.
No.
It's scary as CSR because they just Terra normal and then like one shot. It's like CSR problems that no one else has.
Well, the
Madeline
problem with the
and-
Rayquaza is that E-Speed goes after Floral Healing, right? No, because Trudge plus 3. So,
True.
he can't be Comfey.
I do think Comfey is like, I don't think it should be used more than it is, but I also think that it's like a little bit stronger than people give it credit for just because of how good it is to like heal your restricteds and like how good +3 priority attack is. That like there's no immunities to it. Like, you know, just if you need to KO that 1 HP Chen Pao, they can't do anything about it. Like they just like they can't even click
Yeah.
follow me to
Arena.
save themselves. It's
They
hilarious.
can go
It's
to Arena
legit.
or Indeedee or
I guess. I guess I got rid of your psychic terrain when I teared my Terapagos, Michael. Okay.
Oh, okay.
And I killed
almost
your
brought it
Serena
to
with my
Worlds.
flamethrower after a couple calm mines.
I dropped it like 2 weeks before Worlds. Like it was actually good. I wish I brought it.
It's a
But
fun
I don't
one.
know. It was
It's
kind
I
of
mean,
doomed.
Comfy is the only Pokemon, or like on the team with 6 Pokemon that was able to get a 15-0-1 in
Yeah, that's true. I
Bologna.
remember
Like
that.
that.
Yeah.
Giraffe. You got me there. I don't actually have a good way to get rid of the giraffe fast enough. Somebody
It's
said
make
that
special attack Terapagos, so it's
yes.
not terrible. I think +1 Terra Starstorm maybe can pick it. No. It depends on the
I could
spread.
see it maybe. I could see it maybe. Somebody said they should make triage higher that priority than protect, and I was like thinking about it. I'm like,
No.
honestly, I would take it because like Urshifu, it already hits through protect. Like it can't be more toxic than that.
Which
No,
priority
you
does
can't.
Protect have? +7?
I think protect is
Uh,
+6, or no,
Just
protect is 5.
5,
Protect is 5.
right?
Protect is 5,
Helping Hand gives
Helping Hand
+4.
6.
Oh yeah, true. It's
Yeah.
+5.
and then switch
but-
is 7, I
so-
think, or whatever.
So I think it'd be funny if you could KO something before it clicked Helping Hand. That would be very funny.
Yeah, true.
So the problem is not that you can hit through Protect with Compe. It's that to your opponent. It's that you can now Floral Healing and Protect and just get up to 100% HP. with
Oh,
it.
true,
Oh,
true.
that's
Oh,
terrible.
yeah.
that would be
That
really
is-
bad. That would be really problematic. That's true. That's true. Yeah, Lando did all right. Not maybe not as good as
There
I
was
had,
one in cut. No, A2 just no
but
cuts.
A2. But okay, yeah. Before we move on to Calc is right, are there any other Calcs that not Calcs, any other Mons that any other teams?
Let me check really quick. But I don't think there's something like really outstanding.
All right. Well, hopefully you guys have some good Calcs ready. Let's go ahead and get into it. Does anybody want to get us started? I guess I should mention how it works, but for the people that haven't watched it before. But basically, we're all going to be presenting a damage calc situation, laying out all the parameters essentially. The calc default one here is Abomasnow Blizzard into another Abomasnow, and everybody else in the call has to guess and answer within the range. So if you said 40%, that would be within the range. You get the point, and it's just all for fun. So, anyways, you guys can always play along in the chat too. So try and see if you can get these calcs right. See how well we know our stuff. All right, anybody want to get us started here? I'll go ahead then. I have no idea how much offense they had on this stupid Dondozo. I have to imagine not very much. Let's see what Calc default has. 100 Adamant, we'll go with it. 100 Adamant Dondozo, and it's going for Ice Fang. I'm trying to think.
Spidef, but it
They,
doesn't matter.
so they wait. So if they're max Spidef, did they have no offense? Like
yeah,
none?
they had 0 attack.
Were they even like positive nature or just like careful?
They were careful. They were
Oh my
literally. The
God.
team was literally. They wanted to win on timer. It was the whole plan.
Yes.
To
Disgusting.
win on.
Okay,
No,
so
I think it's
no
fine,
offense
but-
Dondozo. Is the Tang spread in here? Okay, perfect. I didn't want the calc to start running, but yeah. So the Tang's Landorus is 244-4. And it decided that, you know what, I don't give a shit about this Dondozo. I don't care that Tatsugiri is in its mouth and it's got a +2. It's just gonna take the Ice Fang and see how well it stacks up. So how much is Dondozo's +2 Ice Fang with no investment whatsoever doing to this Landorus 244-4? When you guys are ready, make sure to just say verbally out loud, like I'm ready or I'm locked in or something like that.
But +2 attack, right?
Yes, +2 attack, no investment at all. Ice Fang from Dondozo.
Oh, okay.
It took me a second to come up with this one because I was like, there isn't that much Dragonite played in this format. Are there any other like quad Ice Weeks? And then yeah, I was like, oh, Landorus.
Wow. Wait, you talking shit about Dragonite? I heard Dragonite did really well this weekend.
It did in Best of One. It did. Also, Axe13, thank you for the sub. Welcome to Tub Nation. All right,
I have a guess.
Michael's ready. Adi, are you ready?
I've got a number.
Okay. Mattie, are you ready too?
Nearly. Let me.
All right. Well,
I'm
well,
doing-
don't change your
I'm
answer based on
calculation.
theirs, but I'll come to you last. We'll give you the last
Yeah.
pick on this one.
I
Adi,
think I'm
start with
ready.
you.
I'm really surprised that all of chat is saying it doesn't kill. I think it kills. Like I'm surprised if it doesn't kill. I'm saying 120.
What?
Okay. MDB,
Okay,
It's
now
Ice
go
Fang,
to
right?
you.
Ice plus 2
Uh,
Ice Fang.
My guess was it does 13. War, then 26, 52 4 times, and then plus 2, 104.
All right.
What do
all
you
right.
mean? Wait, why did you say 120 was crazy when you said
Because
104?
120 is a little bit higher. Those are definitely different numbers. I think he's allowed to be
You just-
surprised.
If you started with 15, you get the same number that I did instead of 13.
Actually, you're right, but
All right, and then Mattie, what's your
Alright.
guess?
This is gonna sound like I was just copying because I went last, but I'm gonna say 110 because I thought about like order up, right?
Yeah.
Because to order up is always like so weak, so I thought that might do like, because it's no attack, I thought that might do like 33-ish%, and then Ice Fang's like a bit weaker, right? So I thought like maybe like 28-ish% for Ice
The
Fang.
funny thing about Ice Fang is, isn't it like a good lower base power than Order Up is 80, right? And Ice Fang is just 65.
Yeah.
we will see.
I
Okay.
think. Oh man, I think I still have the nature here, so we can just pick Bashful, whatever.
No,
and
I
then-
think you both guys are in and I am not.
Oh my god. +2 with
Let's
no
go.
investment. That Lando needed to Terra, dude. What are you doing, Lando? And so actually you're both really solidly in there. And yeah, MDV doesn't know his stuff. He doesn't know his Ice Fang calcs. This guy's a total noob.
I mean, I assumed the KOs at least, but
Yeah, you would have made that part right. That's true. That's true.
What a dumbass.
I'll be
saying
honest.
just 13% instead of 15%. Can't believe
I think
it.
I was with everybody in the chat that was guessing it wouldn't kill, by the way. So I'm glad that I did not submit a guess. Who wants to go next?
That's crazy.
I've got a fun one. Go ahead.
I'll throw it over to Michael.
Okay.
Okay.
So, you know how hard Trick Room players sometimes have to click Terrafire Eruption with their torque hole?
That's true. They do
And-
sometimes have to do that.
Let's say there's a Rillaboom, okay? Let's say I played a Rillaboom, which is 252, 252 Careful Nature. And it's max HP torque hole, so 150 base power eruption plus 2 because of Decorate
Oh,
against a
gosh.
Terrafire AV max Spadef Rillaboom.
Okay, Terrifier. So it's max HP, max Spadef, you said?
It's raining. Oh no.
I know.
Adi.
Adi's rain was a really nice touch. Wait, so you said this is the Torkoal is a Terrifier?
Specs in the sun. Terrafire specs in the sun.
And plus
two
2.
special attack.
And then the Rillaboom was AV Terrifier, max HP, and Spadef?
Yeah, 252, 252 Careful.
Oh my god.
With
Sorry,
the
sorry,
with
one
the
more time.
nature. Okay, I got it all. I'm ready.
Sorry, one more time with the Torkoal. What was the Torkoal?
So Varilla is all like Varilla is everything, okay? And the
Yes.
Torkoal is also kind of everything. Specs, Terrafire, in the sun, but plus 2 because of deck.
Oh, it's plus 2. Okay, yeah, okay.
Yeah. All right, I
Oh,
think
God.
I'm ready.
I think
This
I'm
is too
ready.
much math. I don't want to do all these multipliers. I'm just gonna throw out a guess. Yeah,
You
I
gotta
got
just vibe it, dude. Just vibe it.
Yeah.
You only got 45
I got a number.
seconds. You only got 45 seconds to decide if your max Spadef Rillaboom that you're running on your team is
Yeah.
living this. Are you clicking U-turn or fake out? I don't even know
Alright,
what
yeah,
it's
I'm
doing
ready,
in
I'm
this
ready.
situation that could fix
I'm ready.
this. I'm ready as well.
I can go first this time, so you know I'm not cheating. I'm gonna say 85%.
Okay.
Might be a bit high. I don't know.
All right. I'm gonna say a little lower. I'm gonna go with 80.
Okay.
I think we've got too much juice here. I don't think the monkey stands a chance. 106. I don't know. I think that
Okay.
Michael might know this one because he was like planning for a worst case scenario or something. Maybe he just made it up on the spot for fun. But
There's no one plans for careful Rillaboom, man. There's no shot. He's not sitting there running careful.
Actually,
Rillaboom
people
Calcs.
are running careful Rillaboom to survive a Draco Meteor Helping Hand from Furry Graphmobile on lead.
Oh yeah.
Why? Just click high horsepower. I don't get it.
That's true. You're right. Wait, that wouldn't save you.
Wait, Terra Fairy Rillaboom.
Terra Fairy relevant, true. Okay, Specs, Terra. You could have the Dondozo boost, Torkoal. We can leave that on. Oh no, I think I am not in there. I think I am
Let's
much
go!
too high.
Just outside.
I think everything looks correct, right? Okay.
Yeah, that's correct.
Oh,
I just
dang.
saw that I had the situation in the regional, and I OKO'd Rillaboom, so which went Terrafire. They were not careful then. It didn't even seem to have a lot of speed def. Maybe they were like this impish set that survives
Wow.
Glacial Lance from Ice Rider. I think the Terrapagos teams always run first dev Rillaboom, as far as I know. But that was a wild one.
Oh, we got the +2, by the way, Snoopy. I just did it in a funny way. I left the Dondozo commander button on instead of going to put
Imagine it does 170 or something. That would be nuts.
No, we've got the there's the Okay, who's up next?
All right, my turn.
Yeah.
Calc. Sorry, I'm stealing it. I got a calc that almost certainly actually happened in this tournament. You got a Comfey. It's got 4 special attack investment, and it's clicking Draining Kiss as the only move it really clicks. And it's facing down a 4 HP 0 Spadef Rayquaza. How much is it doing?
Okay, I know that for sure.
Oh, he knows this for sure. So what do we got? We got no. Is it bulkless versus no special attack? You said
4 special attack and 4 HP. Yeah.
Okay. The Rayquaza didn't Terra? It's cooked.
No.
Why didn't they Terra? They're so stupid.
They looked at it and they said, "Well, I can't E-speed before the Comfey moves anyway, so I might as well Dragon Descent, right?"
Yeah, you're right. All right, I'm ready.
Oh, also, there's a Terrapagos on the team. They didn't want to die to the Terrapagos.
You're right. That's why they couldn't Terra.
Yeah.
All right, Addy, pick something
Michael,
to start.
you ready?
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, Michael, you go first. You were very confident.
I'm on the fringe if it 3-hit KOs or not, so I will say 31%.
31%. It does not hit the 3-hit KO against Minbulk or Rayquaza. All right, Mattie, what do you think?
38.
38. And Alex, what's your guess?
28 was what I had.
28.
I don't know. I'm hoping that Rayquaza is showing off those restricted level of stats, but maybe it's not actually that impressive. Okay, we gotta.
Rayquaza's defenses are not restricted.
I know.
I mean, they are also not terrible. Are they not like 100, 90, 90?
It's 105,
yeah,
90.
90.
Hold on, here we
Okay.
go.
Oh wait, I wasn't that close.
Or
oh my god, I'm perfectly in it.
No,
in it to win it.
That's
y'all are all really close. It is a roll to 3-hit KO. Yeah, you were right on the money.
Nice.
Oh wait, no, this. I'm trying to cope and somehow make 28 work, but there's just no way. I'm just right out there.
You can maybe make 30. Like if you are put with 4 special attack and no HP, can we make 38 work?
Right. Can we do Spadaf? All right. Okay. Mattie, you're up for the last one, right?
Alright, I've got one.
What you got?
Calyrex Shadow Rider, 60 special attack, because that's what I used. Psyshock against max health, max defense, bull Terrapagos. At +6. Sorry, the Calyrex is at +6.
Okay.
And it has Sword of Ruin up.
Life Orb as well, right?
Yeah, and Life Orb, and it's Terra Shell, Terrapagos.
Okay, so it's the smaller one with the shell. Okay,
Yeah.
okay. This is pretty funny.
Wait, but how many boosts does Terrapagos have?
No,
Zero, like
it's
ice
ice
shock.
shock.
Stop, Adi. It's a trick
Multiply.
question. Adi's going for the trick question.
Okay.
I mean, coaching Terrapagos is a thing. Did people want coaching with Terrapagos?
Yeah, I think so. I remember that.
Didn't we see with the GC team that was hiding the Terrapagos had coaching on it?
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, that team. Okay.
Coaching
I'm ready.
Sneezer with Terrapagos.
Right.
Okay, hold on.
Okay, so you said +6, 60 attack, special attack, timid, Calvert Shadow,
Life
Yes.
or
Ice Shock,
sort of
Life Orb,
when.
Ice
Life Orb, Sword of Ruin, +6.
Okay.
Okay, hold on.
I'm so scared. This is.
I actually don't know the answer, so I will be embarrassed.
Well,
if
we
I'm
so we
very
did
off.
say, by the way, the Pagos was as bulky as it could be
Pagos,
for the
yeah.
scenario, right? It
Bold,
was max
max,
HP.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Also to make things easier. Now I know my numbers.
Yes. It makes it a lot easier.
60. Sword of Ruin is 30% boost, right?
I'm not
Alright, I got
answering
a
that.
number. Did you say
All
no?
right.
Wait, it's not.
I just said I'm not answering that.
Wait.
Yeah, this was coaching Calm Mind Stored Power Terrapagos, of course.
Okay, I've got it.
Terrapagos does learn body press. I got hit by that on the ladder the other day, which was really funny. But yeah, I'm ready as well. Adi, are you
I
ready?
think I'm ready.
I'm ready. Yep.
All right, Mattie, pick somebody to start.
Adi can start.
I think it's doing 75%.
Okay. I was not that far off.
Why don't you go?
Now that you've spoiled it, Michael, what do you think?
I was actually very far off. I was not believing in Shadow Rider. I would have said 68.
Oh, and I'm
Okay.
on the higher end. I had 85.
I always knew Alex believed in Shadow Rider.
So true. Okay, so Calyrex, Life
Mattie, what would
Orb.
you have said?
I think you guys are low, but I'm not sure.
Let's see. I mean, we have a lot of multipliers here. All right, Calm Mind.
Yeah, it's a lot
sure.
to work with.
I mean, so plus
Please.
thing is +6 through Terra Shell is the same as +2.
Yep.
Which makes it a little easier.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's what
Oh,
I
that's not
also
the right attack.
calculated.
I vibed, so you guys are nerds. But if I get it, I'm just cooler than you guys.
Sword
We
of
have the
Ruin.
Life Orb, Sword of Ruin, and
I would have
my
guessed
God.
90, and that's not cut.
My God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just barely in there. We didn't forget anything. This is all of it, right?
Okay, so
Yeah.
you know what my math
Let's
was?
go.
I calculated that's 11% without sort of win, which is probably a little low. But I was like 11, then 4 times special attack was 44, then life orb was 55, and then sort of win I was like around 70-ish, and then I thought I'd go a little lower, but I didn't think it would do that much, honestly.
I love
Wait,
Michael's
so Sword of
like,
Ruin is 30%, right?
And 33.
It's like a third, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I did wrong. That's the
oh,
reason
that could
I
have
was
saved it.
9% off.
I do love Michael's approach to calcs though, because he starts from the very basic amount. He's like, if it had nothing at all, it would do 11%, and I'm like, yeah, okay, cool. Now let's multiply it like 8 times.
Could you
No,
do
that's
nothing
what
at
I did
all?
too.
If you do nothing at all, it should do 12 min, I think, or 13. If you put everything away, all modifiers.
I did like Sword of Ruin first, like in my head, because that's the most awkward one.
Alex?
No, that's basically what I did too.
Yeah.
I had Life Orb calcs a little internalized, so I said, how much is it doing without Terra Shell with Life Orb?
Yes,
then
I
I think
did
it's
that too.
And then kind of extrapolated from there because Terra Shell gets offset by the ×4 boost.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, a little low, I guess. And all
Alex?
because I didn't know how much damage Sword of Ruin adds.
Could you do me a favor?
Yes.
And remove all the modifiers, like life orb, sort of win, and +6. I just want to see.
Are you gonna see if the 11 is correct?
Yeah, it does 12 min. And,
Calc is wrong. Calc is wrong.
Yeah, it's the same thing that happened last time, right? Where you said it did 13, it did 15, right?
Yeah.
And turns out that when you're off by 1% and you multiply it by like 8, you're going to be off by a decent amount.
Yeah, exactly. I should approach it differently from now on.
Well, thank you guys for joining us this week on Tub Takes. I'm glad that we were able to find
before
time.
we leave, real quick, Brisbane, smart money. Who you got?
Okay, I have one.
Go.
Can I start?
Rapid fire, yeah.
I go with Zine. I know Zine is going, so I go with Zine.
Oh, that's a good.
I was gonna mention something about that if we ended up previewing it. I can't find the link for it anymore. It's buried in here.
If
But,
Zine isn't winning this one, I am.
I did.
Wait, you're
I was
going?
curious how many Japanese players were gonna potentially go and invade this one, because it seems like a pretty. I mean, it's like the closest one for him. So, would not be surprised to see it. But yeah, I don't actually have a smart money pick ready to go. I'm coaching like 2 or so people for this one, so I'll pick my coaching students.
Yeah, shout them out. Who you got?
Well, I don't know. I don't always like mention people's names that I'm coaching just in
Okay,
case they
okay.
want their own privacy.
Fair enough.
All
right.
But yeah,
Just say
Mattie.
the winner is the one you coached. Even if it's Zine, you
yes,
coached
that's
Zine.
true. That's true.
That's
I'm actually
why.
not sure. I'm not sure exactly who's going.
Right.
I
Quick,
think
probably
Kieran Singh is a lad.
Kieran
I don't
Singh
know
is
if
pretty
he'll
strong.
if he'll go though, because he lives in Perth, which is
He's going.
like-
He's going.
he's going.
Yeah.
Okay. He's my money. He's good. He's
We
quality.
got one more question before we get out of here. Actually, somebody asked MDB, when is the team report / pace drop?
I already dropped my paste on my Twitch channel, but the team report itself will come out either this weekend, maybe on Thursday. I gotta see with work, but probably sometime this week. But if you want the team now, it's available on my Twitch VOD. Cool.
Cool.
Sweet. My smart money, because no one asked me. Because and Mattie took one loud puppy. I got to take the other one. I'm going for Hobbit. Think Henry Summit.
Henry Rich.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, and
Yeah,
I see. We're gonna wrap it up here, I think. And I see Joe Ugarte is streaming. He never streams. I don't know. So we're gonna send it over to him, right? Unless we got someone else.
Do it.
Yes,
Start that up,
so yeah,
and then again, thank you guys for joining us. Thank you guys for watching as well back home. Watching this on YouTube or Twitch. I'm gonna mention that right now, real quick. Yeah.
YouTube. Go follow me on YouTube. And follow Michael on YouTube. And follow VGC
Yes.
Corner on YouTube if you want to see Maddie's team report.
Appreciate it.
All right.
That's not a hard. I tried.
Everybody have a good rest of your night, I guess. It's like night for y'all. It's like a lot earlier over here. But anyways, yeah.
Yeah,
It's night for me too, man. Look.
It does
night
look-
now,
I saw
yeah.
the sunset. All right. Peace out, peeps. Later.
Yeah.
Bye.
See ya.